Welcome to Winston-Salem for the second weekend of ACC Conference play. Syracuse Orange surprising people so far, 2-0 in the Atlantic Coast Conference. And the host squad, Wake Forest, they want to build on a win over Clemson on Sunday and prove they're among some of the elite in the Atlantic Coast Conference. Here's the standings one week in. Well, Pitt, a reigning national finalist at 3-0. Louisville, top 5 team that you expect. Georgia Tech in that ranks. And then Syracuse right there at 2-0, the surprise undefeated team with Wake Forest among 7 squads at 1-1. We'll call this Separation Friday night. Who can make themselves one of the better teams in the conference 2 weeks in? And we welcome you courtside here at Reynolds Gymnasium. Evan Budrovich, Megan Kolb with you, former Clemson outside hitter. And Megan, I tell you what, in this second week, how do these squads, Wake Forest and Syracuse, prove they're among some of the best in the ACC?
They really, just watching them in warm-ups, there's a good energy in the gym tonight. You have Wake Forest, who did fall to 11th ranked Georgia Tech last weekend and then redeemed themselves by sweeping Clemson, which was no easy feat. And then you have Syracuse. They're undefeated, like you said, in the ACC, and they're just hungry to get that third win. So I think we're going to have a battle out here tonight. Syracuse
is led by the grad student extraordinaire, Polina Shimanova, 5th in kills in the conference. How does she carry this load offensively?
She really is an outstanding all-around player for the Orange and a leader on the court. This Russian grad student had an impressive performance against Duke last weekend, earning a double-double with 14 kills and 20 digs. Whether she's front row or back row, their setters are going to look to use her as an attacker tonight.
Countering with the freshman Paige Crawford, how does she carry the offense tonight for Wake?
Paige Crawford, my goodness, you would never know it that she's a freshman. I had the pleasure of watching her against Clemson, and she truly did shine. No exaggeration, she was unstoppable on the court.
Wake Forest is led by a large group of freshmen that contributed, but at the DS position, Emma Farrell leads this conference at digs. How is she so impactful in that back line?
Emma Farrell is just one of those players, you and I said it kind of in pregame, that will sacrifice her body and do whatever she can to not let the ball drop on the floor. She really is one of those players that you can't keep your eyes off of her. She just stands out on the court.
Her head coach, Randy Smart, said she just digs every dang ball for our team, and I love that infectious energy from the head coach as a service error begins this match. Syracuse at 2-0. They've gone the distance, couple of 5-set wins to open up this year. Wake Forest losing at Georgia Tech, then coming back to defeat Clemson.
Yeah, and I had the opportunity to be at that Clemson game, and, it went to 3, but it was not a quick 3.
That's a tool off the block. So first kill for Clemson. Naomi Franco has been really good as a senior out of Fayetteville, Georgia. And sort of a surprise in this offense. She only had 1 kill a set last year, has nearly doubled that in her final season.
And I will say, Evan, I love a right-sided lefty. That is just about as good as it gets offensively.
It's quite a weapon, like the pipe in the middle. That's Olivia Franke with her first kill. Can't you just feel the energy in the gym tonight? ACC home opener for Wake Forest?
I will say, it's funny, Evan, when we initially got here, we have a hurricane of brewing in the area, but Reynolds Gymnasium's bumping for a Friday night, especially pushing this game up a little bit earlier.
Moved from 7 o'clock to help us all get home tonight, but then, too, enjoy what could be a fantastic match here in the conference. Nice touch to keep that up from Willock, who had her 500th career dig just a week ago. Hoffman goes near side and wakes up for the challenge of Victoria Lockmanchuk, and that stays in. So the free ball point for Wake Forest.
Douglas doing a great job right there, hitting that back corner. That's one of those shots that if you get lucky and it stays in bounds, it's almost a guaranteed kill.
So Andrea Fuentes on a difficult serve. And out of the back row, a missile for Shimanova. The senior, who's 2nd in career kills, helps out her head coach. Bakir Ganesaratnam takes over after a decade-long run under the previous tenure. He comes in and wants to rebuild this program.
Yeah, and I think it would be safe to say that he's doing a great job rebuilding this program so far. Starting off with only 6 players and then over the summer adding another 5. And these girls have really molded together. I think a big contribution is he says that they spend a lot of time together, obviously on the court, but also off the court.
And that chemistry is huge for a team early in the year, as there's a kill for Victoria Lockmanchuk. It's neat when a program has literally their entire half their team come in during the offseason.
Yeah, I think they're just all in it together. There's probably that understanding and bond like other teams don't have.
So Andrea Fuentes sets up the slide and a kill on the deflection off the antenna. That'll be big. 2 kills for Olivia Frankie tonight.
Yeah, great start for Olivia Frankie.
So here's Paige Crawford, that freshman we talked about, coming in for Wake Forest.
Nice float serve.
Back set from Woodford. Run the 6-2, do the orange. And a great touchdown line results in the kill. Naomi Franco with her second, and that's the challenge for head coach Randy Smart. She wants her club to elevate from middle tier to upper class of the ACC. This will be a big challenge tonight.
Yeah, and we saw earlier we've got 4 freshmen with Wake Forest, and all 4 of them have had a significant amount of playing time. We've got 3 of them that are pretty consistent out on the court and are great to watch. And she also, I know, mentioned to you that she's got a lot of good players coming in soon.
And she's got a senior in Slater smacking one to the floor.
I mean, did you just see that? She was wide open. The block was just caught drifting, and that went straight down to the floor.
Our producer, Everett Hutto, said pregame, I want to see all the replays of big kills.
Look at that.
And there's Slater hitting the back row.
There was no stopping that one.
Good serve there by Slater, and an ace. So Wake Forest, largest lead of this first set. Syracuse has dominated this series all time, 10-1. And the lone win for Wake came a handful of years ago. So it will be curious tonight how Wake shakes those demons in this matchup.
I do really think that this is going to be a different matchup tonight. I know that pretty consistent.
Audrey Douglas says, there's your block. That'll change the first set.
Oh, my goodness. Yes, that'll definitely make a difference to your point right there. But, yeah, I think that these teams match up really well against each other. We have big blocks. We have big offense. They both run a 6-2. Good competition tonight.
Douglas, the junior from Winter Park, Florida, making her presence felt. And that's in. Good cross-court swing. And we told you how dangerous Syracuse's duo can be of Lokmanchuk and Simonova. They combined for 4 kills tonight. Lokmanchuk 4th in points in the ACC, so she's become a big-time player as a senior.
She is, and just watching her so far, she really has that cross-court shot down to a perfection.
Nice set from Fuentes and Emily Ogogar in transition. Emmy's been a nice addition to that middle blocking position. Very athletic in the middle.
You know, Evan, you took the words right out of my mouth. I was just going to say she's just that perfect addition for them, and she really seems to be fitting in with the team well this season.
Ogogar from West Virginia. She was top 5 in kills last year for the Mountaineers.
Then we've got Ryan Baker coming in, freshman from Illinois.
So while Syracuse brings in 6 new players, Wake also welcomes 7 newcomers. So both these rosters are revamped and changed up from one year to the next.
They are. I think that for both of them and this program in general, it's going to be a lot of rebuilding.
Syracuse with a new head coach, Bakir Ghanasaratnam, off to their best start in 4 years. And that team in 18 made the tournament as Peyton Seuss finds the floor. The senior who's been really impressive, 3.1 kills a set.
Peyton Seuss, I had the opportunity to watch her against Clemson last weekend, and she definitely was an instrumental player for them getting that sweep.
Seuss plays all 6 rotations, and this just developed at the end of last year, so it's become a major piece for Randy Smart.
Nice serve right there.
And the senior terminates. Nice kill, Paulina Simonova, who is now 75 kills away from the program record.
You know, it's funny. I know that people watching can't hear the sound, but the hand contact that Simonova has with the ball is incredible. The amount of topspin and power that she puts behind it.
She has 10 double-doubles this year in just a short time in 22.
An impressive statistic.
She's played 12 matches, Megan.
Yeah.
Has taken over night in and night out. Now can Hoffman tee it up back to her. And another kill cross court.
You know, that is, I think, Evan, the 4th cross-court kill that we've seen from the Orange. So if it were me, I'd maybe be thinking we might want to shift our block a little bit and try to force her to hit that ball down the line instead.
So if you're Emmy in the middle, how do you respect the middle in front of you, but also prepare for Simonova as a kill for Wake Forest?
That is a great question. You just have to know your block and really read the situation well.
It's a Wake Forest team that has dug out more than any team in the league, 16 digs per set. They want to be a scrappy, defensive-minded club.
Well, and that's funny, you know, you had your interview with Coach Smart early on, and she said that we're the type of team, when we win, it's not going to be pretty. It's going to be an ugly win, and we're going to be scrappy to get it done.
Olivia Frankie helps with the tip block at the net. Trying to slow down a Syracuse team off to their best start in 4 years in the conference. Couple of home wins deep in the match, and Shamanova continues a hot start. 5 kills on 6 attacks.
And that's funny, you know, I had just mentioned they should move the block for her to hit down the line. She hits down the line and had success there.
Megan Cole be looking to get back into the coaching business at some point.
We'll see. We're with the 10-year-olds right now, so we'll start small and see where this goes.
10U's a great start.
Yes.
Former Clemson standout Megan Kolb with us, Evan Budrovich here, and another kill for Peyton Seuss. She has become a spark plug for this program in year 3. Nice swing there.
She is. She is all smiles on the court right there, which she should be.
715 kills in Peyton's career, and with the graduation of Cam Malloy as the top point getter from last year, she has now become the lead trigger in this offense.
Yeah, you know, that's a lot of pressure to have to step up into a role like that, but it seems like she's handling it pretty well.
3 points a set certainly helps. And the lefty right side goes to work. There's Franco again.
This Syracuse team, I mean, for them being so new and having so many players that are just starting to form together, this is a pretty impressive performance that we're seeing out here so far. 7th
assist for Lauren Woodford teeing it up. Ooh, and a nice swing. That got a tip and in. Oh, wait, no, it's called out. Fooled me here, courtside, point Syracuse.
Got Coach Randy Smart here thinking maybe there was a touch off of that.
Randy wanting a second review from the R1. He's going to confer here with our head referee just to double check. So Randall McLam and Patricia Salvatore talking it over, because I swore I saw some contact.
I mean, you and I have a pretty good view of that, and it seemed like there might have been a little bit of contact, and it looks like that call was in their favor.
So let's take a look here if there's a deflection. Looks to be in, too.
Yeah, looks like it's in, and maybe Franco got a little bit of a hand on it.
One of those micro touches.
Freshman Paige Crawford to serve.
Frankie got a hand on it. Fuentes couldn't save it, so a kill for middle blocker Bree Walp. She's a grad transfer to North Florida.
She is, and I like that play. There was a tough transition. If I were definitely a blocker, you had a lot of people to keep up with, so really nice job there for Syracuse.
Bree Walp set the North Florida blocking record in her tenure. Really good at the net with her hands, and we'll see if that translates from the A-Sun to the ACC. A little easier said than done as a 5th-year senior, and that stays inside the antenna somehow. Good hands, but a point for Victoria Lockmanchuk. So her and Shamanova have combined for 8 kills.
And that was a really nice job that Victoria just did right there. She's got Frankie and Douglas up front, which is not a small block. So you've got about 6'4" players that are standing up there in front of you. So might as well look for the hands.
There's hands from Syracuse in the block. How about Ariana Jobert, the Chicago product, putting her hands on it?
That was pretty nice looking.
Neither of these teams are great at blocking coming in, but here's a good play.
Big block for Jobert.
8th block of the year for Ariana. A little back row touch dug out. And that shot wide in transition. So sort of like we expected. 13 a pop early in set 1. I love Bree Walp talking to herself there, trying to correct her outside swing.
Yeah, she had the right idea there. She really was going for a right spot. Just the court wasn't quite wide enough for her.
And another kill for the senior. Give her 6. Polina Shamanova, how do you stop her? There's a back row attack.
It is, and that's what I said early on. The setters, you know, they will look for any opportunity they can, especially if they're out of rotation and they have her in the back row, might as well utilize the opportunity.
It's a race to our media timeout coming up on this next point. Who will have the lead? The ultimate tease is a challenge here, just to drag this out.
That's right.
On ACC Network Extra. Nice tip, and dug out by Fuentes. Syracuse in transition. The bump from Burtz. And that's long. No challenge. So we'll take the timeout. Wake Forest up 1 in set 1 with plenty of action when we come back. I've been burned by that multiple times before. I'm like, oh, it's a commercial. Then they challenge it.
Yeah, you're like, wait, what?
Okay. We'll do Syracuse roster.
Okay.
Yeah, the returners and then the newbies. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
It's a Friday night volleyball party here in Winston-Salem. Wake Forest and Syracuse, two programs with a lot of new faces coming into the year. And for Syracuse, it's an entirely new program. Just those 6 on the left were on the team when Coach Bakir took over. He's added 6 new players, a totally new formation to this unit.
Yeah, I know that you had the opportunity to kind of catch up with him prior to this game and talk about the foundation that he has kind of built for this family. And I know that he said it's kind of a family. Just tell me a little bit more about, what it took to build this team and get them together.
Yeah, to his credit, he had to hire 2 assistant coaches in July, bring the whole program together. You start preseason August 5th, so you're right around the corner. And here a month later, his club's off to their best start in 4 years. Bakir, who grew up in Sri Lanka, moved to Germany.
Yeah.
He relegated, then came to the United States to play college volleyball on the men's side. And his story is unique for many reasons, but he said, I want to rebuild a power in Syracuse. He's starting to do that in year 1.
So it looks like we have a challenge here with the net call.
Keep in mind in college volleyball some new changes in the challenge system this year. So you win it, you keep the challenge, and in the 5th set, an extra challenge for each team. So using them early is not as detrimental as in years past.
I totally agree with that. But man, yeah, you don't want to use them too early on, but sometimes it's just essential to use it.
Now, was there a foot fault violation on Wake Forest there? Could be the question as well.
Yes, did look like she was underneath that net there.
Both Bakir and Randy were setters in college, which I do love. They have that setter mentality, setting up players.
They do, and just talking on the setters, the 6-2, that's definitely not something, at least I'm dating myself here. Back in the day, you didn't traditionally see the 6-2 offense. So then tonight you have 2 teams that are running a 6-2 offense, and even Coach Randy Smart said she's adapting to getting used to having the 6-2 offense as well.
So the call is confirmed. Yep, and the Syracuse violation there. Setter goes over the line. So Bakir 0 for 1. He has 1 left until this goes 5.
We have the potential for this to go 5 based on how this is going right now.
Syracuse has dominated the all-time series, including a sweep last year up in New York. And that shot wide for Wake Forest. Demon Deacons hitting .533, so they come back down to earth on the hitting error from Ashley Slater. I love when matches start when each team's hitting .390 or better. It's great for the sport of volleyball.
It does. Makes you feel pretty good about yourself.
Ooh, risky serve, and it helps over the net. So an ace for the Orange.
Those are the absolute worst, most frustrating serves. I mean, I remember when that rule changed, and it definitely, when it happens to you, you're thrilled for the serve, but it's frustrating.
Alyssa Burt, the grad transfer from Colorado State, gets her 11th ace of the year. Maybe her toughest. And now Seuss on the touch is dug up. So Burt will set. And Shamanova rockets one to the dig.
Incredible dig.
That's Emma Farrell to do it, all freshman. The point for Knott. But what an effort by the leader in digs in the conference, Emma Farrell.
I'm not going to lie. When she took that swing, I was very confident that that was hitting the ground. And somehow she found a way to pop that ball up, but they just couldn't fix it and finish it.
What a luxury for Randy Smart, an all-conference libero, and Emma Farrell.
Big win for Wake Forest getting her.
Part of a 5-woman freshman class that Randy hopes by year 2 and 3 can elevate this program into the top 25.
It does sound like that's kind of the plan for her. I know when you had an opportunity to talk with her earlier this week, she said that the upcoming class for 2023 is great, and then they have incredible prospects for 2024.
And we're both from Los Angeles, so we talked In-N-Out Burger and West Coast surfing.
Oh, man.
All the culture out that way. That is kept alive by Syracuse. Good effort. Farrell bumps it back into play and freed over. Hoffman in transition goes outside. Shamanova finds the floor. 7 kills for one of the best in the ACC.
And again, another cross-court kill right there.
Now to pull back the curtain, our broadcast spot is right there. So I was ready to dig that out, and you had your hands up to set it.
Yeah. You know, I was curious because they had a free ball right there, what the setters were going to choose to do in that transition. So she did a great job executing that play.
A service error gives it right back. Late changes aplenty in this first set. Start this match a couple hours early to avoid any possible Hurricane Ian situations. Glad everyone's safe and sound tonight here in Winston-Salem.
Yeah, and our thoughts are definitely with those who have been impacted by this just awful hurricane.
The good news is all safe and sound here in North Carolina, at least for now. And there's another kill for Franco.
And I will say we're definitely lucky to be an indoor sport here today because I know that it's definitely affected a lot of the outside sports this weekend.
A rare service error for Shamanova. And how, if you're Wake Forest, how do you close out this set and try to start ahead 1-0 at home?
Gosh, I mean, I think that they're doing everything right now. I think all the players seem fired up. They seem well prepared. And so I think it's just going to be a matter of staying disciplined and sticking to their game plan.
Wake at 1-1 on the road early. They'll have plenty of home matches coming up. Syracuse and Boston College this weekend.
Yeah, you know, I did notice that Wake Forest has been out of town for 3 weeks straight. So I'm sure it's probably nice to be back home. Home sweet home. Wow.
Nice dig by Farrell.
Incredible dig.
And Fuentes in transition gets the kill. There's Frankie down the middle.
You know, Frankie, that was an incredible swing, but we got to give a lot of the credit to the back row right there. Farrell with 2 huge digs in this volley right there, setting her up for the opportunity just to kill it.
Emma Farrell leads this conference, the ACC, in digs per set. So fantastic. And toeing the block, there's Lockmanchuk. She's up to 4 kills.
And not only is she leading in digs going back to Farrell, but she's a freshman. I mean, that's a big role to step up, you know?
Megan, to your point in your Clemson career, how did you step in day one? How does a young freshman contribute right away?
You know, I was very confident with myself. I came in thinking, you know, I'm going to start, I'm going to play. And I told you that, you know, one of our first games was against Pepperdine. And I remember walking in and playing, and I was a nervous wreck coming in as a freshman. It's just a different world once you get to this level.
And in the tight first set, these freshmen have lived up to it. Point Wake Forest.
We have ourselves a match here.
And with this lineup for Randy Smart, she has 2 former DSs in the order. Willock and Farrell playing together. It really helps out their passing in the back row.
It definitely. They have solid passing, solid defense. And let's see, we've got Willock going up front.
Serve from Crawford. Hoffman goes outside. And another dig for Farrell. She has 11. Freed over by Lockmanchuk. Fuentes with options. Frankie is dug up and pushed over with a joust.
This is getting nasty.
And the kill. After a long rally, Syracuse ties it at 21.
Oh my goodness. These 2 DSs, it's just battle for battle of who's going to get more digs tonight.
Give credit to Franco here, putting this ball away.
Yes, lefty swinging from the right side right down the line there.
Coach Bakir said Naomi, her ceiling is so high that she can be at all ACC level. We're seeing glimpses of that tonight.
Yes, definitely.
Oh, man, big service error after a long win. That's a tough one as a head coach.
That's not what you're wanting to happen right there. Unfortunately, at times, those are really the plays that can make or break your entire game.
Bakir in his first year with this program, 11 seasons at Temple, had 5 20-win years. And his club now ties it up with the service error.
Turn around back-to-back missed serves. These are those plays that we really need to make sure they happen. Keep that ball in.
Fittingly, these two clubs bottom third in service aces in the ACC. Let's see if Victoria Lokmanchuk could change that.
That was a tough serve right there.
Fuentes back set. That finds the floor. Audrey Douglas has stepped up on that right side, playing well.
Yeah, she really has molded into the right side position. She seems to handle it really well and seems versatile and flexible with it.
Douglas with 3 kills in the set. And Wake Forest 2 points from set 1 as Syracuse calls timeout. Two teams that are so young are infusing talent. And for Wake Forest, these freshmen have stepped up big time. We noted the libero position, but how about this 5-woman class for Coach Randy Smart?
Yeah, I mean, look at this right here. You have Ryan Baker, who, to come in as a freshman and be a setter, I mean, you're essentially the quarterback of the court. So that's a big role to step into. You have Paige Crawford, who we talked on earlier, and she's the player that you need to look out for and figure out where she is on the court. And even Olivia Murphy, she's had 3 starts this season. So, I mean, you put all of them together. Randy Smart definitely knows what she's doing when she's recruiting these players.
Randy Smart, the setter herself, so she's queen bee, right? She's queen quarterback.
Yes.
Guiding her young team, and she said, hey, we have a long way to go, but at the same time, we want to prove this 1-and-1 start is for real and not fall in years past to 2-3 wins in the ACC, but be in that 9 to 10 win range competing for a top 6 spot.
Definitely, and I do think that while she seemed apprehensive to be running this 6-2 offense, I think that she's really coming around to it. And I'll be honest, I've never personally been the biggest fan of a 6-2 offense, but seeing both of these teams do it, it's working. And it's definitely opening up a lot of opportunities for the setters to get creative. And they've got 3 big hitters in the front row, so it's been impressive to watch.
These setters of Fuentes and Baker for Wake Forest, 11 combined assists. The Demon Deacons coming off their first winning season since 2010. Even that alone is a big stepping stone for any program growing up.
That is definitely huge, and that's going to be great for recruiting for them down the future.
That's what makes these opening weekends fun in the conference. You can start out strong, try to avoid those 0-2s, 0-3s, and climb a big hill with Pitt, Louisville, and Georgia Tech waiting. Hoffman right back out to the senior, and another kill, 8 of them for Shimanova. She's hitting a modest .550 in this first set.
I think she's coming for us over here across court.
Well, she knew she was the player to watch coming in.
Yes.
Ranked 2nd in Syracuse career kills and a timeout for Wake Forest. Yeah, let's focus on Shimanova because she's been amazing. 3-time AVCA all-region performer for the Cuse, and every year just seems to find a way to get better as a 6th rotation player.
She is, and I would just love to know a little bit more about how Bakir brought her on and was able to recruit her. She definitely came from a long ways away, you know, grad student from Russia, and is definitely a leader on the court. I know when you had the chance to talk with him, he said she's really the glue of the team.
Bakir said that's the biggest sales pitch, keeping her around for year 5 when others had transferred, new coach, new philosophy, and when she was bought in, that flipped the whole script for this program.
Yeah, I mean, look at these stats here. She's just shy of being leader in kills for Syracuse program.
Yeah, those numbers might grow pretty quickly tonight when you have 8 of them in the first set.
I think that would be safe to say. She's definitely, I mean, we might have another double-double in our hands.
She's a journalism major who actually has served as a commentator for a lot of the Syracuse broadcasts this year.
I had heard that. I would love to go back through the archives and see that. That's probably pretty awesome.
Well, on the ESPN app, you can find them here in the first month of the year for sure.
Yeah, she seems pretty pumped right now, dancing right there.
Certainly not fazed by a competitive first set, I tell you what.
They're cool as cucumbers over there.
There's Coach Evan Lee leading the conversation during the timeout. And let's see how Syracuse can respond. They've had service error issues in the first set, 5 of them.
Yeah, 5 service errors is definitely something that they're going to want to focus on and adjust for the next game coming ahead.
Well, here we go. Who can win the next 2 points? Win by 2 in this opening set.
Both teams in great situations with the front row hitters they have.
Oh, and Burt nearly has an ace. Farrell kept it up. Hoffman in transition. Shamanova with the tip, and Syracuse set point.
So quick, crazy how quickly the tables can turn in a game like this.
It's a smart timeout for Randy Smart. Uses her final timeout. So Shamanova's been the story. 9 kills, hitting .570. How does Wake Forest slow her down?
You know, that's a great question. I think it's going to start with just a tough serve, and you're going to have to put up a big block, and then the defense is really, that's what you're back there for, is to try to just get it up and handle it so they can do something out of transition. Especially
in this rotation where she has 8 serve receives and no errors, right? She's been excellent in the back row and has taken over in this match tonight. I mean, look at these highlights. She's done everything right.
It does. She's doing everything right. Even from back row, front row, she's a solid server. She's good at passing. She's good at defense. So she's handling herself, and she's honestly delivering it exactly what we expected tonight.
Plays all 6 rotations for Coach Bakir Ganesaratnam. Although she's been living on that left side.
I mean, cross-court shot has been the name of the game for her. And, I mean, even you have a solid libero from Wake Forest over there who still, some of them are getting right past her.
Not a shabby start for Polina Shamanova, who in her grad year has a chance to be one of the best all time at Syracuse, getting her master's in communication and journalism.
No, she might be taking our seats here soon.
I wouldn't blame her. Although I'm glad to have you here, Megan.
Yeah, glad to be here.
Evan Budrovich, Megan Kolb here. Everett Hutto producing the show. And let's finish out set 1. Highly competitive, Syracuse and Wake Forest. Here's Alyssa Burt to serve.
Playing it safe right there. Good call.
Playing for the set. Nice dig by Slater. And Willock off the block keeps it alive.
Off the block using Rihanna Hughes' hands.
Kalani Willock in year 2 was 4th in the conference in digs last year. More of a versatile offensive player here in year 2.
Yeah, I mentioned it there. She just hit 500 digs. Huge career achievement for her.
Good hands at the net by Ogogar. So Slater through the block. Set point, Wake Forest.
Paige Crawford, freshman from Wake Forest. Got to be feeling pretty good right there using the hands on that swing from the outside.
Randy Smart said our freshman class is really talented, and Paige Crawford 3.2 kills per set. She's done it again. 4 kills already.
She is. She's delivering and performing exactly as expected. And like I said earlier, she's one of those players you wouldn't know that she's a freshman, and that goes for all of the freshmen on Wake Forest. It's like they've been here the entire time.
That maturation process is incredible because Wake Forest had some injury trouble early in the season, players out in the first home tournament, but they have shown resolve at the Clemson match like you saw on Sunday, and now these teams are both jostling for points late in set 1.
Yeah, you know, it's funny, Evan, when I was doing my homework, you know, learning about these players and studying them, the great thing about Wake Forest is that they can kind of interchange their players. Their players are good whether they're outside, right side, middle. That's a good problem to have, is when you have too many players and you're not quite sure where you want to put them. But then we have the complete opposite on Syracuse. I mean, they can't even scrimmage each other. They've got 11 players,
on the roster.
11 on the roster, which is pretty wild. So I don't know if Bakir is stepping in and, you know, playing defense on occasion, or maybe he's setting for them.
Paige Crawford, who won multiple state titles in Wimberley, Texas, is now trying to help her team win a second match in the ACC. And Reynolds Gymnasium has come alive in this home opener for the Demon Deacons in conference play.
It is. We've got the DJ here live.
So Willock serves for the set. Target Shamanova, who gets it right back. And a dig.
Great dig.
Here's Crawford. Set 1 goes to Wake Forest.
incredible match amongst the two teams. I think that's just one to get things started here.
So the senior, Shimanova, was excellent, but it's Crawford on her fifth, puts the set away.
Emmy Farrell with that dig. Couldn't have happened without her.
Wake Forest leads 1-0. We'll have the second set when we return.
Wowzer.
And Everett, you said the video is coming back from break for this? Okay, perfect.
And that's the
they had a Ukraine Awareness Night.
Yep.
Thank you.
Yes, yes. Uh-huh. Yes. And cue the tears.
Nice job, though, Megan. I like the flow.
Yeah, me too, definitely. And let me know if you ever feel like I'm overstepping with saying anything.
No, there's times I just like to let it sit there, and that's perfect for when you feel like you want to come in.
Okay.
I'm not one of those who wants to jabber your head off the whole match.
Well, this is like so fast-paced right now. I'm like, whoa, that went quick.
It was terrifying. I could not believe it at first.
My parents and my friends, they were like, oh, something is coming. And I'm like, no way, like it's a joke. I was concerned about how people gonna react, that I'm playing with Russian, with Polina, that I'm friends with her, good friends.
I will be, and I was the biggest support that I am present in the United States here for her, so I will be the biggest emotional and physical support that I can be.
Well, that final shot really tells the story, right?
Goodness.
Two women from two different countries that are in the midst of a war, and yet here they are playing college sports and bonding together. Those are just such great moments.
Wow, that piece there was incredible to watch. And you can see they really do have a great relationship with each other. I think they have that understanding. They've come from afar to the States, and so there's a special bond. And so I know you had the opportunity to kind of talk about the event that they put on together with Bakir. Is that correct?
That was last weekend at Syracuse. And Polina, actually, she organized the whole thing, checked with Victoria, and she said, yes, let's have a Ukrainian Awareness Night to support the two countries and get a sense of where disagreements come from and to raise awareness for folks in Ukraine who constantly need help.
That's pretty incredible. All
and there
smiles
they are,
on the court right
having
there.
a great chemistry. Those are two of the 6 returners for Syracuse. So they have 3 or 4 years of memories together. Had a really good first set so far. Nice to see that combination coming out of our timeout break.
Here we go, game 2.
Glad to have my teammate with me here, Megan Cole, Evan Budrovich with you.
Yes, glad to be here, away from the rain.
Naomi Franco's had a nice first 2 sets. She's up to 6 kills.
Yeah, she's doing a really nice job finding hands. That's kind of been the key thing that she's been doing over and over again and having success with it.
Well, Franco is a animation major. She knows how to be creative and crafty. Far more in the arts and crafts than I ever was. That journalism degree is paying off for me at some point here.
There we go.
That's a high free ball in transition. Good tip by Willock to keep it up. And Crawford off the block, tools it for the point.
I think that's going to be the name of the game tonight. There's a lot of tooling off the block. You have blocks of their size. It's kind of just something that you got to go for and utilize.
Think back to set one. Each team hit over 400.
Wow.
It's like national average type stuff. Some of the best in the
Seriously.
country. And another dig for the freshman.
Great cross-court shot there.
Seuss caused trouble with that touch, and it goes long out for Franco, and point Wake Forest.
I think the thing right now for Emma Farrell is that she knows these two outside hitters from Syracuse are all over the cross court. So she's just like, all right, I got to be fully ready, and I'm just going to pick up everything I can.
That goes down for a point, so Lockmanchuk has 5 kills. We noted some of those hit percentages. The Princeton Tigers lead the country, 15 kills per set. Each of these clubs had 15 kills in set one.
Wow. I love what Lockmanchuk just did outside there by tipping it. You know, she's got so much power, but sometimes you just don't have to use it and take advantage of the spots that are open on the court.
So Shimanova with the bump set, and that's terminated. What a start for Naomi Franco. Syracuse has that 3-headed tandem of Shimanova, Franco, and Lockmanchuk, and they're all hitting 400 plus tonight.
Yeah, they clearly are on fire and unstoppable at this point. Yet, you have Wake Forest who took the first game.
Yeah, Wake pulled it out, 26-24, and a hot start for the Cuse. 2-point lead, and Syracuse is hitting 700.
Definitely feel like the momentum has changed a little bit on this game. I don't know if just because we have a different team on this side, but there's definitely a different energy for this second game.
That was Ogogor with the kill. She's important. Or sorry, Lockmanchuk. And the block. There's Bree Walt, the all-time block leader at North Florida, with her first.
You know, it's funny looking at Bree Walt because being a middle hitter, you typically expect them to be the tallest player on the court, and then you see her in between two larger hitters, and she's still out there getting blocks.
At 6'2", and Coach Bakir said her game IQ is next level. Not necessarily the size, the physicality, but she can read the block really well. That's off the hands of Franco, point Wake Forest.
Well, and to be a middle and be able to read the block well, that's what's key right there. So obviously she fits the role.
Over 3 blocks a set at North Florida last year, so instant impact.
We have a great rotation here for Wake Forest, so hopefully Fuentes can hold on to the serve.
Targets Lockmanchuk in the back set. Is blocked at the net. So Wake Forest showing its defense with Crawford there. Now maybe that was more net, but.
Yeah, definitely. Wake Forest making a smart call here. It looks like they intentionally have Fuentes serving to Victoria so that they can kind of take her out of transition right there.
Nice serve receive. So from the back row, that misses long. One of the rare mistakes for Polina Shimanova.
I mean, that's a bomb. Literally a bomb.
We noted she's played all 6 rotations throughout her entire career. Nearing 1,700 kills, trying to become the all-time kills leader at Syracuse. Fuentes, the bump set. Nice tip by Burt. And a missile goes long. Couldn't get her hand underneath it to wrap her arm.
Looks like she just didn't quite get the right contact with that ball.
These are 2 programs that are picked in the bottom 5 of the ACC coming in, and yet have exceeded expectations early.
Well, if they are in the bottom 5 of the ACC, I would like to see what's in the top. I mean, I know we do have, let's see. 2
of the Final Four clubs from last year.
Yeah, we got Louisville, who's number 2. We have Pitt, who's number 10, and then Georgia Tech, who's 11th. ACC is representing.
I call Georgia Tech the Brazilian bomb squad.
Yes.
With the 4 Brazilians on that roster. They have been really good this year.
Such a fast-paced tempo game they run. Fuentes still to serve.
Wake Forest on a 3-0 run. And Franco ends it with the backside kill. And we've seen sparks from Naomi Franco. 12 kills against Boston College in her conference debut, and she's played really well tonight.
That was a really nice decision for setter Woodford to go ahead with the back set, especially with the success that Franco's been having tonight.
What if I told you Lauren Woodford was a former DS who moved into the setting role just this year?
I would say she's a superhero.
That's the presence of Syracuse, having to bring in different players, reorganizing roles, and a kill for Crawford, who's been smacking balls like that her whole life.
I mean, to be able to make the transition from a DS to a setter really says something about the level of play at Syracuse.
Riley Hoffman and Lauren Woodford, neither were major parts of the setting rotation. They have become huge pieces in this 6-2. There's a nice set, but it does not stay in. No lead larger than 3 points tonight in either of the two sets.
Yeah, Lachlan Chuck showing a little bit of frustration on her face. I think it surprised her a little bit that went a little bit wide out there.
Elena Karakazi was the main setter last year for Syracuse. 9.5 assists per set, more of that 5-1. Oh, and she set it to nowhere. Walt wanted some help, and her setter couldn't find it.
Yeah, you know, every now and then, even when you're playing at this level, you'll have some communication errors where the ball sometimes is just going to drop.
We'll take the timeout. Wake Forest won set 1, leading by 4 here in set 2 in Winston-Salem.
Thank you.
Sure. Okay.
Let's see.
One senior, one freshman dominating tonight. Polina Shimanova taking over with 9 kills, and Paige Crawford nearly countering her for Wake Forest.
Yeah, you know, that's a great point you make there by saying one senior and one freshman. That just shows the quality of play that the ACC has now.
Shimanova preseason all-conference for the Cuse. And don't sleep on another presence. That's Luckmanchuk. She now has 6 kills.
You know, I think that's the spot she consistently has been trying to go for, and it just went out a couple of times, and that time she nailed it.
Victoria has really improved at the service line in the eyes of Coach Bakir. Creates difficult angles for opposing returners.
Based on that shot we just saw right there, I'd definitely say she has a lot of control over hitting different angles.
Yeah, that cut shot looks really good for Victoria. Slater had trouble with the serve there and rolls it over.
Smart play by her.
And the touch is one on the joust. Burt has to bump set here. And a kill, 2 in the block. Guess who? Shimanova up to 10.
Up to 10 now. There's one of her doubles. Now we just got to work on the dig-in.
Has hit in double figures in every match this year. Not a surprise. Her career high is 36 against Louisville. Not a bad team to do it against.
No, I'd be curious to learn more about the club that she trained for when she was younger and just where she played, all of her roots.
Grew up in St. Petersburg, Russia, so the capital. And an ace for the Cuse. That was a smart timeout by Bakir Ganasaratnam. Quiets this run.
Definitely.
How has his team responded out of the timeout?
A lot of good momentum has shifted in their favor right now. We've got Syracuse down 9-10, but seems like they're definitely making an impact to move forward.
Fuentes in system. Both these teams hitting under 200 in this set. A little more difficult in set 2. Hoffman goes middle. There's Fuentes. Nice dig by Bird.
Dig.
And Walt is in no man's land, so she puts it up. From the back row, Crawford finds the floor. Crafty shot for her 9th.
Freshman taking care of business right there. Look at that back row swing. Putting that long rally to an end.
Paige Crawford coming off her team best, 7 kills against Clemson, and she has carried the load, 16 attacks tonight.
Yeah, I mentioned earlier, her performance, I feel like that was kind of her breakthrough moment for her freshman career at Clemson. She really proved that she has a spot on the court.
Great defense by Wake, and a kill in transition. So Walt says, I love your fancy rally. I'm going to terminate from the middle. Transfer portal is wide open for Syracuse, and Walt, one of the key pieces from North Florida. You see that bench, not very deep. 11 total players on the roster.
Got Burt back to serve, strong server. We got her in all orange.
Ooh, nice play at the net, and it goes down. Audrey Douglas with a crafty kill. It's like beach volleyball, a little self-defense, just fight it off.
There is a lot of jousting, as you mentioned early on. It's like cat fighting.
I love the cat fighting part. She played 1 match at Auburn last year, then transferred over to Wake Forest. Nice serve from Ryan Baker. And that is somehow cleared over.
I think she elbowed that one.
And put to the floor. Slater rises and kills.
Big swing for outside hitter Slater.
Because
Somehow,
Shimanova,
yep.
yeah.
Great opportunity for them to get back into transition, and just block was wide open.
And that point is won by Ogogar, because her presence going up quickly holds the middle.
Definitely.
And then it's a wide open angle.
It is, no. And that there, I definitely think with running the 6-2 offense, as we said, it's a lot more to keep up with. You always have 3 players that you have to be watching out for.
Wake Forest maintaining a 4-point lead after pulling out set 1, 26-24.
One of the bigger leads we've seen this evening.
Hoffman with plenty of options, goes back row, and nicely dug out. Slater clears it. Hoffman again. Shimanova off hands. And look at Farrell going everywhere to keep that ball up. In system, Ogogar with the kill.
Ogogar, I love seeing the big smile on her face, all the excitement. Big swing right there. Setter did a really nice job, Ryan Baker, of setting up the middle there. Great
What an
play.
incredible set by Baker. Because when you're setting from the back row, you can't rise over the height of the net, too, so you have to be very precise.
That's right.
And a block for Seuss, who gets the overpass. Ogogar having her presence. This front row for Wake, really good on rotation.
Yep, she definitely has a big present, making sure that we know that she's here in Reynolds Gymnasium tonight.
Having to fill the transfer presence of 6'7" Victoria McSweeney, who went to the Big Ten country. And an ace for Wake Forest, largest lead of the set.
Freshman Ryan Baker really showing up here.
How about that 6-0 run to create some separation? What's changed for the Demon Deacons in set 2?
You know, it's interesting because I initially thought that Syracuse kind of had the momentum starting off this game. Then all of a sudden here, they've figured something out. I think it's been defense, offense. It's kind of been a combination of everything.
And Wake Forest has led on a young freshman class. We noted Emma Farrell in the open. Well, she has 11 digs, which to many would seem like a normal day in the park, but she averages 6 digs a set.
I can't say enough about Emma Farrell. She's one of those players that's just a little spitfire. She's fun to watch. She's energetic. And again, she throws her body. You see her, she's just sliding left. She's sliding right. It doesn't matter. She's doing whatever it can take to make sure that the ball does not drop on the floor, and she has some heat coming her way.
She needs a knee guard NIL sponsorship because she is throwing her body around this court.
That would definitely be a great idea. You're having the opportunity here to just kind of take a breath for themselves. She's had 7 digs already tonight, and I'm sure there are plenty more to come.
28 is her career high, so keep tabs on that. That number could change all throughout the night.
I mean, with the amount of kills that she has coming her way, I definitely think we can get up there and definitely at least have a double-double in digs.
Wake Forest for the first of 4 straight here at home in conference play. Syracuse is on the road the next 2 weeks, so they want to take advantage with some road cooking here tonight and then at Virginia Tech. We were asking Coach Bakir with the late night and the travel, they're going to leave tomorrow morning.
Gotcha.
Up to Virginia Tech.
Yeah, definitely makes sense to get ahead with the travel. And honestly, the weather's been so strange here with Hurricane Ian.
One of
Better
the
to get
farther
there.
travel partners when you think of 2 ACC schools. As that goes out and Shimanova continues, 11 kills for the senior, matching her number. Gotta keep you honest over there, Megan.
I like it. I like to keep myself in check.
Shimanova's unstoppable. She plays all 6 rotations. Her and Juliana Bergman of Georgia Tech, maybe 2 of the best in this conference at putting points away.
I definitely would agree with that. I love seeing these versatile players that are really strong up front, but also you can count on them defensively.
She has 1,000 career digs, 2,000 kills, and how about that? Another ace for the Cuse.
Woodford all cheers and smiles with that ace. She's got herself a strong serve there.
Lauren Woodford turns 21 just next week, so she's trying to enjoy that final week of freedom, if you will.
Right.
And a block at the net. Part presence of Raina Hughes. Again, every time Bakir Ganasaratnam's called a timeout, Syracuse has come right back with 2 or 3 points.
It is. He obviously is very tactical and smart, or else maybe just a little bit of luck right there. But I think that sometimes when you have those timeouts, you're gathering, you're like, all right, I know we need to get it together.
Reached the 2017 NIVC, which is the NIT of college volleyball, winning 175 matches at Temple. And he wanted to take on this challenge. It's a hard shoe to fill for Leonid Yelton, who spent a decade at Syracuse.
I think that the shoe fits pretty well for Bakir so far.
Those Nikes do look sharp on him tonight. Nice dig
Nice
by
dig.
Bird. There's the effort Bakir wants. And speaking of effort, another good dig for Syracuse with Hoffman. And in. Oh no, ruled
I
out
am
by our head
curious.
ref.
Yeah, they're looking for hands right there. Pauline a little bit surprised. That was a big swing there if that had been in.
Let's take a look. Yeah, it'll be the touch call will be the key. But Paulina not asking her coach to challenge this. This is more of a player initiated situation.
Definitely.
And Syracuse only has 1 challenge left.
This is right, so you need to use it wisely. We still have a lot of play ahead of us.
And Kalani Willock says, well, I want to serve already. Give me the ball, please.
Well, I think when you have the momentum and you're leading like that, you want to keep that fast tempo game.
Out right back to her. And another dig for Farrell as Crawford finds the floor, all started by the freshman.
I mean, can we talk about that dig by Emma Farrell right there? Every time we see them swing outside there, I'm pretty confident. I'm thinking that the ball's going to hit the floor, and then sure enough, somehow right before it drops, she gets it right up there.
9 digs for Farrell, needing that double-double.
I mean, incredible playing.
So how will Syracuse respond? Oh, and a roof for Crawford.
Paige Crawford. Solid block there between her and Agogor.
I tell you what, Paige Crawford, Emma Farrell, this freshman class, they're coming to play tonight.
It's really impressive. It really is. It's like I said, it seems like they've always just been here. I think that, you know, they always must have taken some time in preseason to mold together and really just bond. And I think that Coach Smart's doing a great job with her recruiting.
Syracuse down 5. They checked the scoreboard, made it 19-14. Push set out to Crawford, who gets the point, towing the block. So Paige will take it for her team high 11th kill.
We have Crawford and Shimanova just going kill for kill right now.
That's a fun thing to watch. By the way, Crawford's hitting .611 in this match.
That's pretty impressive. If it were me, I'd just continue to keep the ball going to her.
Well, here we go.
Here we go again.
10-foot line swing. Easy dig there for Hoffman. And Franco tips it over the block and finds the floor. It's a smart play by Naomi Franco.
Very, very smart tactical play right there. It's just sometimes, you know, you think you need the heat. She seemed like she was a little bit off right there, and that was a perfect spot. One of the few balls that Emma Farrell didn't get to.
Naomi Franco was developed from a freshman year where she had 1.7 kills a set. Has nearly half a kill here in her final season. And that stays in for a point. Wake Forest 4 from the set.
Can we talk about what Ryan Baker just did right there? I mean, freshman getting up there, saving the ball on their side, and then Paige just taking care of it. It's great teamwork.
Those one-handed sets are so difficult. That makes her head coach, a former setter, Randy Smart, a happy camper.
Definitely.
Speaking of setters, here's Andrea Fuentes to serve, and she goes into the net. That was Syracuse's bugaboo in set 1. 5 errors, only the second of the match for Wake Forest.
Got Riley Hoffman coming in to serve.
And I love that. Hoffman looked up to the scoreboard and said, "We're down how many? Okay, I'll try to win 5 in a row."
Got some work to do.
Willock had some trouble on the serve, but Frankie on the slide is dug out. Frayed over. Fuentes with all the options. Outside. And dug out, but out of play. Shimanova. So Paige Crawford now has the lead. 13 kills.
You know, I love that you said, I mean, they had the free ball, all the options, but why not go with what's working?
Paige Crawford's had herself quite a match for the true freshman.
I mean, she crushed it against Clemson. She's crushing it now against Syracuse. If this is just the start, is she just going to keep growing every single ACC match she has?
And a block for Frankie. Boy, Wake Forest is clicking on all cylinders in set 2.
It is. It's really fun to watch this team grow and mold together. Even over 1 week, I feel like this team has changed from the last time I saw them.
Picked up a win on Sunday at Clemson in straight sets. Now trying to move up 2-0 on Syracuse. And Burt is blocked. Wake Forest with set point. With an assist from the net. Listen to this crowd rocking in Winston-Salem. Fuentes tees it up.
Douglas
That is
like
out.
Thought it might have gone off of her finger, but it doesn't look like it did.
So Douglas with the hitting error. Syracuse to serve. That is not Hurricane Ian. There's an earthquake in this building. This crowd is fired up tonight.
They are rocking right now.
Set point, Wake Forest,
Oh,
and they
man.
take it on the service error. 25-17 in set 2 as the Demon Deacons are rolling here at home.
Yeah, definitely not the way you wanted to close out that second set.
We'll take the timeout. Randy Smart, a happy camper so far. Her club leads 2-0. How will Syracuse respond? We'll find out after this timeout. Yep.
Shocker.
Okay. Okay. Oh, nice. Okay. Sure.
This is pretty funny.
Welcome back to a loud and rowdy Winston-Salem here at Reynolds Gymnasium. Wake Forest wins the first two sets really tight in the first. The Demon Deacons took over late in set two. There have been three players so involved in this offense tonight, so we'll focus on them. Paige Crawford of Wake Forest, Naomi Franco, and Polina Shimanova for Syracuse. How have these three become huge factors offensively?
I mean, how have they not, I think is the question to ask. I mean, going into this, we knew a couple of them were going to be stepping up. We knew Paige Crawford was going to be huge. And then we also knew that Shimanova was going to be huge. But also Franco is just really performing. But how they stepped up, I think it's just the opportunities and the defense that we're seeing tonight. I mean, it's just all about creating these opportunities for these hitters to show up and take care of the ball.
These hitters have made for a highly entertaining week 2 of ACC conference play, because we want to dive into the conference 2 weeks in, because here we sit with some of the best teams like Pitt and Louisville continuing a dominant stretch. 31 straight wins in ACC play for Louisville. They'll look to continue that tonight. And then Pitt, who's playing at Duke just across the state, they start 2-0 for the 7th time in 8 years. We've noted how impressive Shimanova is, but then Julia Bergman's right up there with her, leads the country in points per set.
Yeah, the two of them, incredible. And I will say, you know, Pitt playing against Duke, I saw Duke take on Syracuse, and that's a tough matchup as well. So none of these, all this ACC play is going to be challenging this season.
Here's some of the highlights from set 1 and 2, because it's been star-studded. These teams each hitting over 200, and Polina Shimanova taking over with 11. We've noted, Megan, in this match, her ability to hit that cross-court downline shot. She opens up all the avenues for her.
She does. She's incredibly versatile. And I'm going to say, I mean, she's playing so well, and her stats are showing that she's crushing it. So it's got to be a little bit frustrating that they are 2 games down right now. And then Paige Crawford. What's there not to say about Paige Crawford? I mean, they have tons of opportunities to utilize all of their hitters, but like I said, why not go with what's working? Paige Crawford is being set the ball, and she's just taking care of business tonight. It's fun to watch.
Megan, she's hitting .619. Top player in the country is Megan Hart of Colorado, hitting .505. You put these numbers into perspective, she is dominating in terms of her performance tonight.
I would think Randy Smart has to be pretty pleased with getting this recruit.
And that's why her program for Randy Smart is hitting .368 in that first set. Blocks relatively even. Wake's done a little better at the net, but clearly Syracuse service errors have been an issue. They have 6 of them and have not been able to stop Paige Crawford and crew tonight.
Yeah, I definitely think what we're seeing right here with the stats is showing the accuracy with how we're seeing everybody perform tonight.
Here are the leaders we've shown you throughout the night. Shimanova will be an all-conference ACC for the 3rd straight season. And here's Paige Crawford, who could already pencil her name in for all ACC freshman team.
I would definitely agree with that. I'd feel pretty confident with that statement. Especially, you know, there's so much growth that we've already seen in just the small amount of time she's had her career.
Now she sits 5 kills away from her career high of 18 against Western Carolina.
Yeah, and I would not be surprised if we see potential with that happening tonight with her surpassing it.
And the cheer team's in attendance tonight at Reynolds Gymnasium, right on top of the court, which I love. It makes for a good atmosphere here.
I mean, you got the cheer team, you've got the DJ, the start of this, we had the lights turned down low. There's just a good energy. I honestly, Evan, didn't think for a Friday night with the type of weather we have rolling in that we'd see this, but at the same time, you're kind of like, I don't want to be stuck at home in the rain.
DJ, can we play the song All We Do Is Win no matter
right.
what? And these two teams want to continue their winning ways in the conference.
And here we go.
Whoop. And Baker with a tough set, but that's freed over. Look at a slide here for Seuss, who gets a net violation. So first point of the set for Wake Forest. I think Syracuse is a bit confused here of who touched the net. And Shimanova was called for it.
You know, and Evan, those are the plays right now with misserves, you know, mishandling the ball, net. Those are the ones right now they don't need to be giving up those points.
And targeted on serve all night. That sneaks through the block. Nice swing. 12th kill for Shimanova.
Yeah, it looks like Seuss and Frankie were just a little slow to close the block right there, giving her an opportunity for another kill.
10 double-doubles for Shimanova. Has not been as defensive-minded, just 2 digs tonight.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't feel like we've seen the defensive performance tonight like I was expecting to.
Ooh, what a tough set for Baker, and Crawford puts it down.
I wish you could see my face right now because my jaw is dropped. I think there's a little bit of fire behind that.
The ability to go up but then float away from the net, that is so hard to do.
Yeah.
Part of this talented young freshman class for Wake Forest. Ryan Baker out of Rolling Meadows, Illinois. Her and Fuentes sharing the duties at setter. And Willock to the floor. Back to Crawford.
Big save for Willock. Farrell right in position where she needed to be to help out.
Good block. And the double goes down for Naomi Franco.
Franco and Hughes up there, when they have that block sealed, that's a dangerous combo to go up against. Hughes back to serve.
Hughes leads Syracuse in aces. Has been really good, but no stopping Frankie. That inside-out approach takes advantage. I love a good cut shot from a middle. It just opens up the court.
You've got to give compliments to defense and setters right here that are opening up these opportunities for the hitters.
So many one-on-one opportunities for Wake tonight. Demon Deacons hitting .360 as a team. Manchuk down line, and she misses wide. So in set 3,
right there.
How pivotal are these first 5 to 10 points for Syracuse?
I think that just really kind of sets the tone for the entire game. So right now, I mean, Wake's leading by 2, but there's still a little bit of time right here, but I already feel Wake Forest energies kind of creeping in and helping with them lead.
Slater goes off hands after Syracuse had the lead much of set 1, and Wake came storming back. They dominated set 2. And here's a kill for Franco, who now has 11 herself.
Franco's really showing up right now. I think that it would be a great idea for the setters to really utilize her. Obviously, right now, she's subbing out. But when she comes back in, I would think that she would be the player to look for.
Remember, only 11 players on this Syracuse roster. First-year head coach Bakir Ganisaratnam has his team off to their best start since 2018. Ooh, nice effort. And free to a joust. Low set. Manchuk rolls, and that's tipped. Fuentes comes scooping in. Slater on the roll is pancaked. Manchuk. And Jobert hits the antenna. Another nice dig for Knott. Point Wake Forest.
I mean, when you have a 6'5" outside hitter pancaking a ball, that's pretty impressive.
It's like those old waffle skillets as a kid. They got stuck and you just pull them off last second.
She got down there.
Good effort by Manchuk, who swings again and hits it to the roof here in Reynolds Gymnasium. What did Michael Jordan say? The ceiling is the roof? Well, the volleyball is that tonight as this swing goes wide. And Wake Forest, the 3-point lead. Different energy from Randy Smart's club tonight in their ACC home opener. That service error gives it right back to Syracuse. Randy noted, we want to build a team from a winning record overall to a winning record in the ACC. How do they get that done?
I think that's a great mentality to have, and I would say right now, based on after their win against Clemson and what they're doing against Syracuse, they might have the chance to be getting that done.
We showed you in the open 4 undefeated teams in the conference. Syracuse is one of them with the Manchuk ace. I know it's only 2 weekends in, but if you're Wake Forest, you see Boston College, Syracuse, Clemson on the schedule, and those are teams right there with you in the preseason. You want to move up, you have to beat those opponents.
Yeah, I think they're definitely building the confidence by taking down these opponents.
Then it leads to UNC and NC State next week for Wake Forest, so a busy in-state weekend. Hoffman on the bump set. Oh my goodness.
Oh.
13 kills for Shimanova.
That is the hand contact sound that I was talking about earlier, that just when she has her approach and everything is just perfect, I mean, I'd be dodging that ball.
Bakir Ganasaratnam said she is so much harder to stop when she's playing in rhythm. And
Yeah,
there's example A.
that was in rhythm. I think that would be safe to say.
6 rotation player getting it done as that is in. Nice cross-court swing for Slater. That's deep corner pocket, too.
That is one of those spots that if you keep it in bounds, it's just kind of, you're going to go ahead and give up that point.
When you shade Alyssa Bird a couple of steps into that libero spot, you're right. That's a really difficult return. Baker on the float serve. Hoffman up against the net. Finds guess who, and Farrell digs it out.
Big dig for Farrell right there.
Give her double figure, 10 digs, and a tip at the net. Point Syracuse.
Yeah, she did a nice job right there, just tooling off the hands of Peyton Seuss.
How about Emma Farrell, though?
She just has that nothing hits the floor mentality, which I love, and I think that that's the type of players that Randy Smart looks for in Wake Forest.
And Randy noted we want to win ugly every night. We don't care how we do it. Defense, digs, they lead the ACC in digs per set.
I can very easily see why.
Not the biggest, most athletic team, but they're going to work hard. And the blocks certainly help, because that's dug out, and Jobert clears it. Ogogar into the block. Nice hands from Raina Hughes.
Big block up there.
Well, these are two teams playing the same style. Nothing touches the floor. Physical middles.
Definitely.
I like it.
I will say, when you get a solo block like that and you turn around to your team, it's just the best feeling in the world.
You remember how many blocks you had in your career, Megan?
I do not have a clue. Probably 1 million, somewhere around there.
I was thinking 1.5 million.
Yeah.
But I like your thought there as that goes out from Peyton Seuss. Former Clemson right side hitter and all stand out. Megan Kolb, Evan Budrovich with you.
Why, thank you, thank you.
My career kills are pretty simple. 0, at least at the collegiate level. Plenty on the beaches of Manhattan and Hermosa Beach in California, but no one's counting those.
When I'm at the geriatric level, you can start looking up my stats again. I don't think I'm too far from there.
Good dig for Crawford. Now can Syracuse continue this 3-0 run? Farrell on the bump. A lot of roll shots, a lot of tips at the net in this rotation. Well, there was just no angle for Slater, and that goes out.
Yeah, we're looking for some hands right there, but just set seemed a little bit low for her.
So the 4-0 run causes a timeout. Can Syracuse extend this match to 4 sets? We'll find out next on ACC Network Extra. Bakir's like, okay, Paulina, you're going to have to swing 65 times in this match, so just go.
Crushing it.
Yeah. Thank you.
What do we got?
In the thick of ACC conference play, we feature some of the best in the conference tonight. Julia Bergman, the All-American at 5.3, and then Shimanova and Lokmanchuk have been quite a duo for Syracuse this year.
I mean, they have brought everything you would think to see people, you know, for these players being in the top 6. I definitely think they have an impressive performance, especially just coming up against some of the girls on this list. I mean, I would love to see Julia Bergman out there. I haven't had the opportunity to watch her play yet, but I mean, this is a solid list right here.
And both of those play all 6 rotations, so they get a lot of kills from the back row, too. Now, Shimanova's in the front row for this rotation, and an ace for the Cuse. That's a 5-0 run. And this is what Coach Bakir Ghanasaratnam needed. His team has not won a match all year when dropping the first 2 sets. Good response in set 3.
Yes, I think that they would definitely be pleased with this right now, but we still have a little bit of time. But if they keep chipping away like this.
Back-to-back aces always helps.
Back-to-back aces definitely help. They might try to shake it off, or they might even reposition, have her slide over a little bit just to avoid.
Alyssa Burt becoming a service weapon. 13 aces for the Cuse libero this year. There's Shimanova with the dig. Used her shoulder. Baker in transition. Ooh, off the roof. And Burt read it well. Good touch by Seuss. Slater tips the hands of the middle and gets a kill.
Slater did a nice job there, kind of having 2 serving receive airs and then coming back with a big kill from the outside. Definitely what she needed to make up for it.
Slater turns 20 next weekend, and she is living up to a nice performance here in her sophomore year. Or actually, she's now a junior, that COVID sophomore. It all blends together at this point. So Hoffman goes middle. Little left-handed touch there for Hughes, who grew up right-handed and left-footed. One of those weird ambidextrous kids.
Interesting.
Oh, and a block for Ogogar that sends everyone to the floor for Syracuse.
All of them just trying to do something with that, everything they can to try to get it back over, but just not quite enough. Let's see right here. Blocked. They're scrambling.
Ogogar led West Virginia in blocks last year. Now is a grad transfer. Looking to fill some big shoes in the middle. Ooh, Farrell took one off the face.
She did.
Love the effort, though.
It was a good effort.
Maybe the deflection got her a bit off guard there.
She's in the right position right there. She's just got a lot of heat coming her way. That's kind of one of the first ones we've seen, though, that hasn't gone up.
How about a freshman leading the conference in digs per set? Year 1.
I mean, mom and dad better be pretty proud of that one.
Speaking of freshmen, there's Crawford with her 15th kill.
I mean, there's something about this freshman duo right here on court, or I should say even trio, but Ryan Baker and Paige Crawford, whatever Ryan is sending out to her, they've got something figured out. It has clicked.
Syracuse wants to stop this quick run for Wake Forest, and they do. Naomi Franco is reigning kills. She now has a 12.
Great swing right there for Naomi Franco. You can see the excitement on her face. It was a really good set. She was set up for a good opportunity where she swung right down the line, and Farrell just couldn't quite handle that one.
Franco last weekend had 3.5 kills per set. Really productive in those 2 wins for Syracuse.
Yeah, she seems kind of like one of those hitters that she's not loud and obnoxious on the court, bringing a ton of energy, but she's incredibly effective.
Coach Bakir Ghanasaratnam said Naomi has worked really hard in transition to score more points off quick returns, and she's made her presence tonight.
Yeah, and you know, I would definitely say that that's an accurate statement, that you can see that she's worked on that, because I'm watching her footwork when she's transitioning, and she's setting herself up. You can see right here, she wants the ball.
Manchuk wanted tip at the net, and she does not get it. Okay, she does get the tip.
I was just gonna say I don't blame the players for staying silent, but I was pretty confident I saw hands on that.
And the senior out of Ukraine nods her head, says thank you very much. I'll take that point. Little smile on her face. I think she had a little opinion there on that call, but she got it right with Randall McLam. Oh, nice play, but a better block for Franco.
Love the excitement right there. Those 2 up there, that's a big block that you're going up against. You've got Rihanna Hughes, and then you've got, who else do we have up there? That was
Franco with the
Franco,
root.
That's right, Franco.
She has 38 blocks this year. Now, that's a lot of presence at the net.
That is.
And I mean, every time Syracuse goes to break, they're dancing.
I know. I like it. No, so, I have a fun fact for you tonight, Evan.
Hit me.
I did my homework, and Syracuse, so they went orange in 1890, and they were the first university to adopt only one official color, which is orange. Kind of unheard of. So then we see Bert over there. She's kind of oranged out. And then from there, they have their
So she's Captain Orange.
She's Captain Orange, yes. And, their mascot, Otto the Orange Ball, he was voted best ACC mascot in 2016. An orange ball. Who would have thought it?
And they stick to the brand, right?
Yes.
They stick on brand. Syracuse that wants to get back to the tournament for the first time since 2018. They're living on Big Orange. Paulina Shimanova tonight. She has 15 kills.
Yeah, I think that they definitely have a impressive performance, and Syracuse is definitely building a name for their program.
Because when we showed you in the Open the 2-0 teams in the conference, Georgia Tech, Louisville, Pitt, all those make sense. And yet here's Syracuse playing its best volleyball right now.
They are, but then you have Wake Forest, who lost to 11th ranked Georgia Tech, turned around and swept Clemson. So it's just very interesting to kind of see how this is all falling into place. I think what it means is we have some very competitive ACC play ahead of us this season.
The separation between 4 and 10 is closer than it's ever been.
Yeah.
I still think 1 through 3 is untouchable, but once you get out of that, it's a wide open conference.
Definitely.
Which in years past, 6 to 7 teams have made a tournament, and maybe Olivia Franke can join the party with her kill.
Big swing for Frankie out of timeout. That's definitely the energy and momentum that I think they needed to kind of get this game going.
It's a smart set two by Ryan Baker working in transition. So Andrea Fuentes, the graduate senior, her final year to serve this up.
Another great rotation for Wake Forest here. Hopefully score a couple points for them.
Woodford tees it up, and a good block. Manchuk. And Willock couldn't save it. So Syracuse 7 points from the set.
Tables have definitely turned here in game 3 with Syracuse leading 18-11.
And more importantly, holding Wake to an 80, under 100 hit percentage.
Yeah, definitely not the scenario I was expecting after we had finished that second game.
Farrell to bump it to Crawford, and she finds the back corner. How about 16 kills for the freshman?
Just big swing, getting an assist right there for Farrell.
She found her avenue and took advantage. 2 kills shy of her career high. Now she serves into the net. It must be so, and you played at the collegiate level, when you have that big kill, the emotion to then settle down on the service line, so difficult.
It is, because you're kind of going from that high to, all right, let's take a breath, get the serve in. And so, unfortunately, it didn't work out for her that time. But, I mean, when you have, 16 kills, I wouldn't be too hard on myself.
And an ace for Syracuse. What a 2-point swing. It goes now 20-12 when Wake Forest was starting to climb back in.
Yeah, definitely a big gap that we're seeing right here. Got number 4, Riley Hoffman, to serve.
Farrell puts Fuentes offline. So Crawford unleashes from the back row to Shimanova, who clears. Another nice dig, Shimanova. And here's Manchuk, gets a tip. Farrell bumps it up. And the joust won by Wake Forest. Franke with the battle at the net.
Saw Hoffman going after that ball. She did not want to let that drop to the ground, gave everything she could, but she couldn't quite get there.
Olivia Franke is a senior middle, becoming more of a presence. Ooh, that's kept up by Fuentes.
Impressive.
And a second one's over. Oh, Gogart touches it free. Burt out of system, finds the
2 times in a row.
The dig. And what a rally in set 3. Manchuk back to Crawford. Here's Slater off hands and out. What a point for Wake Forest.
I mean, we have to give majority of the credit right there to Fuentes, setter. I mean, She hit 2 right there, just would not let it go to the floor. And, you know, when your setter is making those digs, that's taking them out of elimination to set up opportunities for the hitters.
Randy Smart said, I care how our team competes, not the score, but the effort. And it was there besides the service error.
The effort is definitely not lacking on Wake's part, though. Even with seeing this kind of big gap between the two teams, Wake's performance doesn't seem like they're not, you know, that this gap should be there.
Had to overcome a 10-point deficit in set 3 to finish off the sweep of Clemson on Sunday.
And they did it.
And Syracuse, to their credit, every time Wake makes a run, the servicing has been really good in this set.
Yeah, Syracuse is a strong serving team. I think that that's very apparent right now.
Yeah, 6 total aces for Syracuse and 5 in this set. As Manchuk looks to continue. Fuentes goes middle. Ogogar with a positive touch. That's such a tough play because you have to keep your hand firm and avoid flipping your wrist.
Yes, yeah. You know, I think the middles, I think that's why you're put there in the middle. You just have that talent where they have a different touch for the ball that you just can't quite explain, but somehow they manage to handle it.
You and I would have flipped our wrists and called for the double.
Yeah, or it would have gone sailing to the back corner because I would have tried to take a big swing at it.
Emmy Ogogar, one of 4 players with 5 kills for Wake Forest. So Megan Merrill into serve for the Demon Deacons. She's a sophomore from Copley, Ohio. Had 2 digs against Georgia Tech. That was late as a defensive specialist, and that's not what Randy Smart wanted.
Yeah, that's always tough, though, when you've come off the bench, probably a little bit on the cold side, and then you have this pressure that, hey, we're behind. You need to step up and try to do something for our team, so here's your shot.
Alyssa Burt wants to help her team with a serve. Fuentes goes backside. Oh, good hands from Raina Hughes. Slater through the block and beats it. Point Wake Forest.
Big swing for Slater, especially seemed a little bit off in her transition, but just went ahead and went through it and powered through that block.
Now the big question, can Syracuse close out a set? They struggled to do so in the first.
2 points to go.
Hoffman goes way outside. And there's the freshman to dig it up.
Fuentes running hard to try to get to that ball.
She's all over the court. Look at number 8 in gray. Now going for the block. Here's Fuentes on the set. Tries it one more time with a dump and scooped out. Shamanova the roll. What a dig, Willock. Now Crawford off hands. Kept up. Hoffman.
Scrappy.
Fuentes one more time. Into the net. What a point for Syracuse.
Yeah, that was tough right there. Wake Forest is not going to go down without a fight right here. So what we have noticed, we've got Fuentes up front now, which shows us that I believe they are out of substitutions. So we've got Fuentes now setter up front, so not as many hitter opportunities.
That makes it a lot easier for a middle of Syracuse to read and react.
Exactly.
As Willock has trouble with the serve, and Fuentes couldn't save it. That gives the set actually to Syracuse. So 25-16, Syracuse takes set 4, and we'll take the timeout. The Cuse able to extend this match. Let's see who can decide it in set 4 when we return from Winston-Salem. Okay. Okay. Yep.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. That was the least excited reaction of winning a set. I was like, wait, is it 25? Oh, yeah, that's 25.
Yeah, that was weird.
Yeah.
I don't think Syracuse shows much emotion either way.
Right. And to think we'd just be getting ready to go on here in a minute.
I know, it's crazy. Wish we could Grubhub some In-N-Out.
Oh. I'll send you some when I go home for Christmas.
Oh my gosh, so good. Okay.
Naomi Franco leading the charge for Syracuse, 12 kills tonight.
Yeah, you know, it's funny. Naomi, I sometimes don't feel like she's getting enough credit or as much credit as she deserves. So much of our focus has been on the outside hitters tonight. But, I mean, she's a force to be reckoned with. Being on the right side, left-hand swinger.
And her approach is 12 feet deep.
Yes, she gets back there and swings hard. She's definitely making a name for herself on the court tonight.
Naomi Franco having a career night, in fact. Her career high is 15 kills against Bryant, so she's right on the door. And then Shimanova quietly nearing another double-double. She'll probably get it in this fourth set. That duo has been really productive in set 3.
Yeah, early on we had said we weren't seeing as much defense from Shimanova.
And she hurt us.
However, she hurt us. I swear she did. Now she's like, all right, let me just go ahead and knock out those 2 extra digs.
Looking for her 11th double-double, which would be fitting for number 11 in her final season here at Syracuse.
Yeah, and then Naomi Franco, she also has 2 blocks on her side. She's gotten a lot of touches, so she's slowed down the ball a little bit from Wake Forest, which I think has been helpful for them.
I love Lauren Woodford flexing to her teammates. She's like, I'll set you up. I'll get you all fired up.
I love it.
Franco dancing on the court. DJ's doing a good job tonight.
He is. It was interesting to see that Wake Forest ran out of subs that time. I'll be curious kind of to see if it's going to be the same theme this time. It didn't seem like it was a problem for them. They very comfortably transitioned into a 5-1 offense. No problem.
15% for keeping track at home. Race to 25 points. Wake Forest wins set 1 and 2, but Syracuse, they've dominated this series all time 10-1, so they show some resolve and win the 3rd set. If we told you coming in Syracuse was tied for first in the ACC, you'd say, wait a second, what year is this, 2018?
Definitely.
Well,
a little bit surprising, but man, both of these teams are bringing it tonight. I've enjoyed watching this matchup.
Wake Forest has not started 2-1 in the conference since 2017, so they have some work to do. Both these clubs can make history. Hoffman goes middle right away, and Hughes is dug out by Farrell, but the overpass is put away. Boy, there's some emotion from Franco.
Rightfully so. I mean, she's having herself a night.
And Franco does get credit for the kill there. All of a sudden, the energy and the emotion has just quieted a bit here for Wake Forest.
A little bit more quiet.
Feels like a golf crowd in set 4. So Crawford brings him to life.
There we go. There's the noise.
How is this true freshman taking over? She has 17 kills.
I'm so impressed with her performance.
Crawford leads all freshmen in the ACC in kills and kills per set. Maybe a chance for one more. Baker backside, and Seuss puts it to the floor off that right side rotation.
Big swing for Peyton Seuss, and I really like what Ryan Baker did there. I thought it was going back to Crawford. I saw her, getting ready in transition to take a swing, and so I think it kind of mixed everybody up. We all had the expectation it was going outside, and then it didn't.
Speaking of going outside, that set does the same from Hoffman. Syracuse started strong in set 3, and now it's Wake Forest starting to pull away in set 4, at least early. A standout Farrell there on the serve.
Yeah, just a couple weeks ago, she was ACC co-player of the week, which definitely earned that.
I am just enjoying staring at Naomi Franco. Every swing, there's a fantastic reaction.
That's fun to watch.
Her and Paulina Shimanova have taken over in this match. 29 combined kills. Baker goes to Frankie, and she adds to her total. So both offenses playing well in set 4.
You know, and Frankie is another one of those players for Wake Forest. I would say we've given a lot of recognition to Paige Crawford outside, which rightfully so, but Frankie is a huge middle player asset for Wake Forest.
16 assists for Fuentes. Over 5,100 in her career between Missouri and Wake Forest.
She's done some work.
And Franco's feeling it. Give her 15 kills.
You know, she deserves to feel it. That was the first time I, watched her reaction after the kill, and she seems pretty pleased with herself.
She is yelling and screaming to the heavens tonight as she subs out on rotation. We talk about the 6 returning players. Well, Franco was a part of that equation. 5 newcomers for Syracuse. Only 11 on the roster, but all 11 have played well as Lockmanchuk with the roof.
This 4th game has been interesting. Just as soon as one team seems to be getting momentum, the other one's just stealing it away.
And a solo block is so difficult there as Lockmanchuk puts it down. Crawford on the tip, who's scooped up by Hoffman.
Yeah, slowing her pace down a little bit.
Oh my goodness, the back row kill for Shimanova.
I love you. Just saw a little fist pump there from Shimanova after she took that swing.
Rare emotion from the senior.
Yep. Big swing and just fist pump.
She's a weapon in the back row.
She really is.
Gets over 30% of her kills from back row attacks. She can hit from all different rotations.
That's impressive.
And that is in. What a shot. I believe Crawford there with a kill, so she continues a big night.
That was a great shot right there. I'll say, I mean, defensively, if I were back there, I probably would have watched it go out of bounds too. I thought it was going out.
Freshman versus senior, mano-a-mano in terms of kills tonight. Lockmanchuk had to punch that over. So Frankie, quick in transition for the point.
Here we go. We see Frankie coming in quick.
And what a smart set by Fuentes.
Yeah.
Coming from the back row, putting it up right away for her middle.
Fuentes is a hustler.
Burt on the slide finds the floor. That's a good swing for the North Florida transfer. And that's where middles in college volleyball have elevated their game, to be able to hit the slide shot and be effective.
You know, it's funny. Just after she went for that slide, I don't feel like we've seen that too often tonight.
Adding a new Al wrinkle to her 5th-year senior career. From Portland, Texas to North Florida to Syracuse, New York. A lot of the country she's traveled.
Covering the map.
Burt has to bump set here. Oh, Shimanova rips one into Farrell. And Crawford a touch. There's the double-double for Shimanova. And a pancake.
2 of those in one night. Don't see that often.
Jobert off the net. That is touch, so point alive. Back row. Into the block. Syracuse pulls it out.
I wasn't quite sure how that volley was going to end. You can see Frankie, her face just frustrated. She was so close to getting the block right there.
An inch or 2 away from that going straight down instead of forward.
Tell you what, Lockmanchuk's serve right here, when we saw her on the other side, that thing has got some heat and just, I can't even explain what it does when she serves that ball.
Nice block for Frankie. She makes up for it on that one.
That's exactly what she was wanting right there. Big block. Greeted with her team, rightfully so.
31st block of the season for Frankie. That's a team high.
That's
along
a
with
big block.
Emio Gogar. And those 2 are in rotation right now. Ooh, nice punch by Fuentes. And it just sneaks over. Right back to her. Ah, down line for the kill. Celebration for Shimanova.
That was a big swing on the outside for Shimanova. You could see the block was just kind of shifted over, and she had that line spot wide open, catching them drifting right there.
Yeah, Fuentes snuck in a step, and that line shot was wide open. Good response for Ashley Slater.
Nice swing for Ashley Slater right there on the outside.
7 different players with a kill for Wake Forest tonight, including Slater, who has 6, and now with 7.
This has been a kill frenzy this evening.
You're not kidding. 45 kills for each team.
That's.
And we're only in the 4th set as an ace adds to it. Ryan Baker on the serve. Randy Smart said this offseason Wake Forest spent more time on serving than in any year past, trying to help out their offense by putting teams in a tough spot.
That's smart. I mean, that's what it starts with.
Both teams have 6 or 7 aces apiece. They've been a factor.
Wow.
What a block! Gogar the roof.
That went straight to the ground right there. 2 blocks in a row.
And Ogogar was pot committed. She late jumped.
Pumped up.
I wonder if a roll shot's coming next from Shimanova.
There's no telling. There is no.
And then the one-on-one for Hughes, and she terminates.
Hughes, big swing, cutting that cross court right there.
Raina Hughes, 1.13 kills a set, but when she's productive, it is magical for Syracuse.
Yeah, definitely has the calm, cool, collected personality, but a feisty swing right there.
Because of this roster, only 2 middles on the active roster, they need a presence from the middle with
They
Walt
do.
or, as Hughes takes advantage of the service here, they need Hughes or Walt to be productive to counter the outside pin hitters.
Yeah, and I think that they're doing exactly what they need to be doing. I think this game we've seen them a little bit more active, which has been great for Syracuse.
There's Kalani Willick. And Keller, Texas. And a dangerous serve that sneaks over. Franco off hands. Tries it again. Another tip. Good play by Crawford. No tip that time.
Looking for the touch for Syracuse.
Oh, and the R1 calls it. Patricia Salvatore says point Syracuse. Let's see if Randy Smart challenges.
Tough call right there.
Looks like she won't. Randy in her 4th year here at Wake Forest, searching for win 40, running the Demon Deacon program.
That's a big W to add to the resume.
It's that biblical number. Always plays a factor. And Ogogar puts it away. Emmy Ogogar, what a transfer addition for the Demon Deacons this year.
She is. She's had a really impressive performance. It's the right, perfect way to leave the court.
No touch. So Franco does not get the tip. Wake
Not
Forest
this
up
time.
3. Here's the standout freshman to serve. Emma Farrell leads the conference in digs. Oh, that goes out. Nice block with Frankie.
Yeah. Burt did a nice job covering right there, covering her hitter, but just went a little bit outside of the line. Evan, I can't tell if the music's getting louder or if the energy is pumping up a little bit more, but I'm starting to get antsy.
The home crowd wants a
Making me anxious.
home opening win, and Franco says not so fast.
Great, great swing.
As she
by
cools
Franco.
herself off.
Yeah, calming herself down after that big swing. I mean, that line was wide open.
How about Naomi Franco, a new career high in kills. Baker goes middle. Frankie puts it to the floor over towards us. And we'll take the timeout. Energy back and forth in this 4th set. The Demon Deacons look to close it out in 4 when we return. Syracuse salvages set 3, and now Wake Forest looking to take advantage in set 4. Be the first win for the Demon Deacons in 3 years over Syracuse because of the talent of the true freshmen stepping up tonight.
Yeah, I'm sorry, did you say they were freshmen out here on the court? Because you wouldn't believe it based on the performance. I mean, we've really highlighted how well Paige Crawford and Emma Farrell have performed tonight. But let's talk about Ryan Baker for a second with 22 assists. I mean, a lot of this would not be happening without her performance, and she's just really played incredible. I like her style of play. She's definitely a fast-paced setter and gets the ball to her hitters quickly. I mean, the way that she's been connecting with Frankie has been incredible.
Yeah, she's fed her middles tremendously, Ogogar and Frankie. So here's Fuentes, the fellow setter to serve, part of that 6-2. Good back set to Franco, who terminates.
Good night. I mean, when you have your libero right there down the line and it's just getting slammed in front of her, you know that that was an impressive swing.
Neat comment from Randy Smart this week. She said, we have to learn to overcome the big points. When an opponent smacks one to the floor, it is just 1 point, and there's an example right there.
It is. You just got to move on from that.
Easier said than done when you watch an opponent hit one to the floor, so Frankie does her part with the kill.
You had Fuentes right there. Beautiful set to Frankie. I mean, Frankie over and over seems to be hitting the same spot consistently.
Check it for some wet spots on the court here on the Syracuse side, and to get the all thumbs up.
Yeah, Wake Forest side, we have Douglas that just subbed in here. So we have Douglas and Frankie, which I mentioned early on, both players standing at about 6'4". Big block up front.
Burt on the slide, sneaks it through the block, and that's a good use of the middle there. So Bree Walp's up to 4 kills.
Yeah, second slide in a row that Bree Walp has run, and both of them have been successfully executed.
Syracuse hitting 300 in this set, but they've had trouble stopping Wake Forest, a .533 hit percentage.
Wow.
Good luck slowing down the Demon Deacons in this set as Farrell has a nice scoop. And Slater gets a tip, point Wake Forest.
You know, it's funny, the pass that Farrell just had right there, you gotta remember, that was off of a serve. She just passed that thing like it was a big dig. There was definitely some heat off of that serve.
Been a weapon for Syracuse this year. They're serving.
Yes, definitely. I mean, just watching them serve, all of them have a really nice jump float for the most part, which it's got to be something that Bakir has been working hard with them on.
Syracuse had 5 aces in set 3 just to win the set alone.
That's probably a huge contributor to why they won that set.
And Wake gives it back with a service error. I know those come and go. You want that 1-to-1 ratio, aces to errors, but with a few points left in set 4, Randy Smart must be biting her nails right now.
Yeah, I think I am as well.
You see those numbers, 7 apiece with the errors.
Got Burt to serve, another jump float right there.
Fuentes goes middle, and good hands by Hughes.
Yeah, big block there.
Another
Twice.
block for Hughes. There's Shimanova blasting to the back corner. 19 kills for the senior.
Great set by Riley Hoffman right there. All smiles.
Paulina Shimanova having herself another great night. 1 dig shy of her 11th double-double.
That's right.
Something tells me she'll get it here soon. Maybe a kill right here. Ooh, the middle off the noggin, and a head block for Wake Forest.
You're getting a head block there. You know that you've got a solid vertical for yourself.
This isn't a corner kick, but it counts nonetheless.
Freshman Ryan Barker back to serve. This is a nice rotation for Wake Forest.
No chance of stopping Shimanova. Showing a little more emotion here in set 4.
That was a beautiful swing for Shimanova. I mean, I would have bet my money that she was swinging cross court. So for her to get that down the line right there, just how you see the block, she was set up, definitely her approach, you would have thought, but she just nailed it down the line.
Top 5 in the ACC in kills, points, and digs. So does so many things well. Now a service error puts Wake Forest 6 points from the match.
Seen a couple service errors this set.
And if you're Bakir Ganasaratnam, when do you use that timeout? You have 2 of them in this set. When do you play it late in this 4th?
I think when you're really feeling the momentum being taken away.
So Willock wants to add to that Wake Forest momentum. Serves it to Shimanova, who gets it right back and beats the block for a kill. 6th time this season, 20 or more kills for Shimanova.
You know, it's crazy. It's like you look at Peyton Seuss and you want to say for her to step out and close that gap since she twice has hit it down the line. But then Shimanova will say, okay, I see that you're there. I'll just go ahead and hit cross court.
Hit it right at her, too.
Yep.
Made it real tough. Gogar in transition. That's a good in-system play for Wake Forest.
Great in-system play and great play for a Gogar. Seems like every time right before she subs out, she makes this massive play for Wake.
We noted her blocking ability, but she's been really good offensively.
Yes, definitely a big contribution for the night.
Wake Forest wants to break the tides of a 1 win all time against Syracuse. Here they sit 5 points away. Good scoop by Crawford. And Seuss digs it out. Good return for Woodford. Wake in transition.
Yep, big opportunity right here.
Baker to Crawford, dug out. Shimanova, there's the double-double.
There's the double-double. That's the dig she needed.
And a little protein style as Lokmanchuk splits the double.
So we see a big dig. Lokmanchuk just taking advantage of Frankie's hands.
And to bump set it to the opposite pin, that's not easy.
It is, because, you know, your footwork's going to be a little bit off, so she was patient and just waited.
Syracuse trying to come back in sets 3 and 4. Baker goes middle. Frankie's dug out. Now Lokmanchuk cross court. Good tip by Farrell. Crawford one-on-one is scooped. Now backside, Franco blocked.
Frankie and Crawford up there against the net. That was a powerhouse block.
14 blocks for Wake Forest. Sorry, 13 blocks. They have really made a presence. There's a timeout for Syracuse. You noted that swing point. That's so big for Wake Forest.
Yes, definitely. And you were asking, you know, when's the right time to use those timeouts? And I think Bakir, consistently tonight, when he has called a timeout, we've seen something work in their favor. So I'm curious to see if that's how things are going to roll out after this one.
And Wake Forest has taken control in set 4 because Olivia Frankie big at the net with the blocks, 8 of them, and 9 kills as well.
I really enjoy watching her. I mean, she puts her hands up on the net, and it just seems like everything is getting rejected, and I think she's proving that tonight. But not only has she just been a solid block, I mean, all of her offense has been incredibly impressive.
Hitting in transition well with a 444 percentage, and then those paws are going to work.
It really just seems tonight like everybody on Wake Forest is taking care of their position and their role and doing exactly what they're supposed to be doing.
The 8 blocks for Frankie is nearing a career high, so she's having a fantastic night. Be curious here if Wake Forest can respond to this timeout and close out the final 4 points.
Yeah, I think that that's going to kind of be the deal breaker right here is can they keep this momentum that they've built for themselves? I think you see head coach Randy Smart just kind of clapping and keeping them motivated, keep that energy going.
Yeah, Frankie has officially tied her career high 8 blocks tonight.
Wow. That is, when you're a middle blocker, I mean, that's one of your main jobs is to block, and she's definitely delivering.
I wish I could count solo blocks on the stat broadcast, but she has at least 4 or 5 of them. I mean, she's been everywhere.
She really has.
And now her grad senior setter, Andrea Fuentes, in to serve. It's a dangerous one to Shimanova.
That's a tough, short float serve.
And what a set by Woodford. Franco gets the point, but Woodford should get all the credit.
Yeah, definitely. That was a great set right there. And you see Franco.
Oh, she's
look at that
contorting
set.
her body, knees bent over the back.
Takes some flexibility, and she's there just cheering on her teammate. So proud of her for taking care of it.
It's like a yoga pose as she subs out. What an effort for the back set.
It was. And I'm still hung up on the fact that she was a DS before.
And a block for Lockmanchuk. Here comes Syracuse.
Okay, so this is what we said before, Evan. I swear, Bakir calls the timeout, and it just kind of swings the momentum and energy for Syracuse. So now we have head coach Randy Smart calling a timeout for the Deeks.
Coach Ghana Saratna mentioned when you inherit a roster with only 6 returning players, we have to build culture. Every week they have team one-on-one meetings with every player. It looks like this unit has bought into everything he's saying. Clearly a 2-0 start helps, but that culture is starting to build in Syracuse, New York.
It does. I remember I took some notes about, you interviewing him and talking about the culture. We talked about the foundation, the discipline, the trust, the hard work, and the integrity. Really have put together the family values that have built the foundation for this team to have success.
So Syracuse has been led by a player for 5 years who's taken over. Paulina Shimanova, her 11th double-double. The digs took a while, but the kills have started from the opening tip of set 1.
Yeah, those definitely came naturally, but the digs, I feel like her digs have come at really clutch moments in the game.
And the dance moves have come all night long.
The dance moves have been consistent.
You could tell it's a senior enjoying her final year, electing to stay at Syracuse when many of her teammates transferred out or graduated. She was one of the 2 seniors who said, let's come back and let's rebuild this thing.
And what she mentioned has been kind of a big recruitment tactic for them as well.
Certainly helps to bring back a 2-time all-conference player in Paulina Shimanova. Now can Syracuse complete this comeback in set 4? Wow, Frankie got that over somehow. And Lockmanchuk on the tip is dug out.
Smart taking out the setter right there for Syracuse.
Farrell has to bump it to Crawford. Crucial point in set 4. Won by Lockmanchuk. Back-to-back kills.
Frankie having her hands all over that. I mean, she's had 8 blocks tonight. She was ready for it, but just got tooled that time.
And the presence of the middle just gets her a half-second late. That's why it tips out of bounds. And Syracuse on this 3-0 run to tie it. Frankie ends the run with a kill.
Exactly the play that I would have chosen to go with. That consistently has worked for them over and over again. Same spot as well.
Olivia Frankie had herself a night. 10 kills, 8 blocks for the senior.
She could get herself a double-double before the night's over with blocks. I don't know about you, Evan, but I feel like the energy in the gym right now is a little bit intense. I feel like every single touch on the ball right now, they're just, it's a life or death type play.
Randy Smart told us this week, we want our team to fight for every ball to the floor. And that has been said of both teams. They've made it tough to score. Fuentes flying over the floor to Willock. And now Syracuse with their top hitter in the back row leans on Lockmanchuk for the kill. And she's up to 12.
I definitely think Lockmanchuk has an advantage standing at 6'5" and being able to utilize the hands. I mean, with her height and her vertical, she definitely can pound the ball, but she's being smart right now by taking advantage of the hands off the block.
And Lockmanchuk now goes to the back row in this rotation, but guess who it brings to the front row?
I was gonna say.
Shimanova comes upstairs. A lot of options for Syracuse. Wake Forest led 16-12. Now we are knotted up. And Slater changes that.
Great substitution, bringing in Slater right there. One-on-one opportunity, hitting it cross court and just taking care of business. Definitely the kill that Wake Forest needed to kind of take the energy back on their side.
Can Frankie continue her great day? Hoffman back out to Shimanova. Now Slater with the touch that goes out. Wake Forest match point.
Can definitely see the frustration on the faces of the Orange's hitters. Got a timeout coming right here.
We noted Syracuse hanging on to those timeouts for the final moments. How about Wake Forest, though, winning 2 critical points after Syracuse came back?
Those were super critical and definitely set themselves up for, I don't want to say a comfortable position, but definitely sitting a little bit more comfortable than Syracuse right now.
Look at this match, though. In set 1, it was back and forth the whole time. Sets 2 and 3, Syracuse dominated the third, Wake dominated the second, and now in this fourth set, what will be the difference as these two jostle for the lead?
I honestly, I can't even really predict the outcome. It's almost like the Wake Forest-Clemson football game we saw the other weekend. It's just like there's no way to predict what's going to happen out of this. Pretty exciting.
Second weekend of ACC conference play. We're in for a treat all the way up to November. This is what we have in week 2.
I would definitely agree with that. It's been fun for sure, and we're only on week 2.
1-1 Wake Forest searching for their best start since 2017. And Syracuse wants to start 3-0 for the first time in 5 years. So a lot on the line for these two tonight.
Definitely is a lot on the line. Coming back in from the timeout, we have Wake Forest, high fives all around on the court. This is big right here.
Remember, Syracuse came storming back to win set 3. They'd love to do the same in set 4 with one of the top players in the conference, Polina Shimanova, who's calm and cool as ever.
Got middle blocker, Frankie to serve.
Match point, Wake Forest. Shimanova. That is in. Wow, what a swing.
She just took a deep breath for herself right there, especially she went to pass it a little bit off and just cross-court shot. That was a money shot right there.
Game on the line. Shimanova with 22 kills.
I would expect nonetheless from her.
Just over the net. Fuentes saves it outside the antenna. We're tied at 24.
Can we talk about Bert's serve just right there? I mean, that barely just skimmed over the net. I think it honestly took Wake Forest passers by surprise.
Two straight points for Syracuse and a timeout by Randy Smart. This ball was moving around like a hurricane. It just floated and drifted around the net.
That was crazy.
And just snuck over.
Just such a fast tempo serve right there.
8th ace for Syracuse tonight, and their biggest right there.
You know, it's always crazy. So we're tied back up. Pressure's on with Syracuse having to serve. There's a lot of pressure at this point in the game when you have to serve. You know, you want to bring something aggressive, but you also want to play smart to make sure that you're keeping the ball in play.
How about the resolve of Syracuse? Fell behind in set 3, stormed back. Set 4, they're down 17-15, so a critical juncture. And here come the Cuse right back.
So here's the question. Are we going to go to 5? That's what I want to know.
It had the makings of a 5-set match coming in. Two clubs that are right even in the preseason poll entering this matchup.
Yeah, you know, I couldn't have really picked two better teams to go against each other for a dogfight. I mean, that's what we're seeing right here.
Wake Forest leaning on Paige Crawford, the freshman, and her fellow freshman right there, Emma Farrell. 17 digs, taking on the senior standouts of Shimanova and Lokmanchuk. We got a fun one to wrap up set 4.
Now, traditionally in this rotation, we've seen Agogor. They've taken advantage of her, running kind of the B set. So I'll be curious to see what they're coming up with right here. You know, I mentioned coaching 10 and unders early on, and I really try to talk to them about how it all starts with a pass right here. So right here, this is a big pass. Looks like we've got only 2 of them back there.
Burt to serve. Outside, Slater dug out. What a touch by Hoffman. And Shimanova rolls it in. Set point, Wake Forest.
I'm loving this fist pump and excitement that Shimanova shows after she's just had a successful kill.
What a difficult shot here by Shimanova.
But a big dig right there.
And now set point, Syracuse. Fuentes to Slater. What a save, Shimanova. Syracuse sends us to 5.
So here we go to 5. How exciting.
Shimanova with the double-double and her best at the end of the set. Stick around, folks. We got a fun one. Set 5 coming up. Syracuse, Wake Forest here on ACC Network Extra.
I mean,
on the floor.
I don't get it.
Has no idea where a setter is. Just like, oh, I'll just put this in there.
This is big.
Yeah. There we go. Well, this match has taken a turn for Syracuse. A dramatic run. Down match point. They win 2 points to tie it, 2 more to win the set. And we go to a 5th set. Syracuse has dominated the series all time, but the numbers pretty favored to Wake Forest hitting-wise with hit percentage, but the service aces for Syracuse huge and the block of Wake Forest big tonight.
I think the question of the night is Syracuse going to stay undefeated in the ACC as we go into this 5th game?
Syracuse undefeated at 2-0. Wake Forest at 1-1. Did everything right in the first 2 sets, and even in set 4 played well, but no stopping Lokmanchuk and Shimanova tonight.
They really have been unstoppable, but then you also have players on Wake Forest side that have been unstoppable as well. You have Paige Crawford, you have Emmy Frankie. I mean, the performance from both teams has just been nonstop back and forth.
The last time these teams went 5, 2016, and Syracuse pulled it out right here in a 5-set thriller. The Orange have dominated the series 10-1, but these clubs are so different roster-wise than what we've seen in the past. 5 newcomers for Syracuse, 7 newcomers for Wake Forest, and adding some new history on a Friday night here in the ACC.
Man, game 5. This is going to be a dogfight. It really is.
First to 15, win by 2. Syracuse has played 3 5-set matches. They've won 2 of them this year. Wake Forest just 1 5-setter. That was a loss to Western Carolina.
5-setters are rough. We've definitely been seeing more and more sweat get wiped up off the floor, and I'm sure we're going to see that here.
And one of the heroes of set 4, Victoria Lokmanchuk, to serve as we get underway. Every point critical in a race to 15. So Frankie starts it with a kill.
Emmy Frankie has her presence being known here in Reynolds Gymnasium tonight.
Double figures for Frankie. Hoffman on a long set. Good hands and another kill. Boy, I tell you what, how are you going to stop Shimanova? 24 kills.
I mean, and especially you've just seen power after hit. And then it's nice to kind of see that tip mixed in right there.
Shimanova's career high is 36 kills. That was 3 years ago at Louisville. She's making her presence felt tonight. Frankie again. Slater with the joust, jug out by Hughes. And there's Farrell, big time defender. That shot long, good save, Megan. Point Syracuse. You protected the equipment. That's the most important.
I did. You know, I'm just here to do my job.
Producer Everett Hutto going to send you an extra check.
That's right. Just keeping it safe.
Colorado State transfer Alyssa Burt to serve. She's been really good at the service line. And Slater.
Looks like we had some fingers.
Yeah, there is a touch of the net. Point Wake Forest, just like we thought. Tied again, 2-2.
Olivia Frankie back to serve.
We had that lead change graphic earlier. Syracuse thought they had the point. They did.
They did.
So many lead changes tonight. Really competitive. And two clubs that are picked right next to each other in the bottom third of the ACC have proven people wrong through 2 matches. Here's Hoffman out to Shimanova. Good scoop, but it goes down. 25 kills for Paulina.
Yeah, nice dig for Wake Forest, but just not quite enough to be able to do anything with it.
How early do you use the timeout if you need to in set 5?
I think when you got to use it, you got to use it, you know, especially if you kind of see everything being taken away from you early on in the game. You just got to try to break up that energy and momentum.
Syracuse 0-5 this year when dropping the first 2 sets. How about this comeback to force a 5th as we're tied up at 3?
I definitely would say in this game 5 right here, these serving errors are not what you're looking for. You know, you just got to play smart and keep it in play.
That error by Woodford knots it up, and the freshman Baker to serve. She had a 4.2 GPA in high school. Smart, savvy setter. And Franco down line for the kill. The exuberant right side with a point.
So I would definitely say if I was Wake Forest, try to seal up the block a little bit more, maybe so she is forced to hit cross court, because I think that's 3rd or 4th kill she's had right down the line.
19 kills, new career high for Naomi Franco.
That's something to be proud of.
Baker goes quick, and Hughes with a nice block. Slater into the block. Here's Crawford. Haven't said her name much tonight, and a hitting error extends the Syracuse lead.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's the 2nd hitting error for Paige Crawford from the back row. But, you know, I don't blame the setter for kind of looking for options that are open, especially just when they're kind of scrambling.
Yeah, Crawford's been a tank back there. Double-double, 18 and 11 with the digs. And she gets served here. Slater with a nice kill. It's a good response by Wake Forest. I love the composure of these two teams. 5 sets, 2nd weekend of conference. Neither looks flustered at all tonight.
They don't. You know, I think another big factor for the coaches to consider in this 5th game is the rotation they want to start in, because you don't have a lot of time.
Race to 15, win by 2. Good hands in the back row, Baker. So Crawford on the touch. That roll shot finds the floor. Franco's on fire tonight.
She is unstoppable. I mean, and even in that situation, you know, she wasn't getting the best set. You know, you had Burt feeding it to her from the back row, and she still was
And the
smart
reactions
and
are
tactical.
amazing.
They are.
20 kills, new career high for Franco.
That's the reaction you want to see every time you're getting a kill.
Seuss on the back set terminates. Good swing for Peyton Seuss.
Really nice swing. Good opportunity opened up for her right there down the line. I like I've said, Baker, she really runs a fast tempo offense, which I think has been really effective for Wake Forest.
25 assists for Baker. And Franco uncorks another. Good luck slowing down Naomi Franco as she subs out.
I mean, I want her to be my cheerleader.
Syracuse with so many new faces. It was Simonova, Lokmanchuk, and Franco. They came back and wanted to rebuild this team. Boy, nice effort by Hoffman. Lokmanchuk got hands in his dugout. Seuss tries the tip. Hoffman to Lokmanchuk. Off hands for the
Looked
point.
like we had some hands there.
Whoa, no points.
I feel a challenge coming on for that one.
And Bakir grabbed his flash card faster than we can get a replay of. He wanted that.
I'll say, Evan, I mean, we have a pretty good view from this situation. And it looked like there might have been some hands on that one.
You see the deep breath there from Bakir? He needs this one for Syracuse.
But you know what? And he doesn't have many of those challenges left, so I would definitely be using that one.
This is his final challenge, although in the 5th set, you get an extra challenge, so 2 left. It looks like there's a touch, but it has to be clear and conclusive. What would this win mean for Syracuse to overcome a 2-set deficit and start 3-0 in the conference?
That's huge, and that shows that they definitely are a boss of a team. I think that, you know, we saw going in tonight that they are undefeated in the ACC. They took down Boston College last weekend. They took down Duke, which Duke is a tough team to play against, and that's on the road. So I think this would be huge for them.
Remember, the initial ruling is no touch at the net, and this would make it 8-5 Syracuse if the score flips here in a race to 15. So that becomes important.
Yeah.
And I believe they'll bring up our media timeout too.
Definitely, yep. Looks like we're carefully reviewing here just to make sure.
So Randall McLam, he's the R2 on the big call here. The call me maybe combined with the hype music kind of gets me into the review.
It is. I wouldn't have necessarily put the combo together on this, but I'm definitely feeling it. These are hard, though. These challenges, while they're effective, at times they can almost take away the momentum that you're feeling.
Okay, this is the big moment
Let's
here.
see.
Does Seuss get a finger on this? Lokmanchuk pretty animated.
I think we're just going to keep reviewing this over and over, slow motion,
Well, you
every
want to get
angle.
it right.
You do, especially because this is pretty crucial. 5th game. We're at 7-6 right now. But like I said, I mean, I definitely feel like after these challenges, after a minute, your body's starting to cool down right now. So it's
and I
just
love
kinda
the
like,
two huddles. Wake Forest is talking every second. Syracuse is dancing every
Yes.
second.
You know, whatever works for you.
And there is a touch.
That was big. That was big.
Lokmanchuk knew it, right? And then to get the result she wanted, she's all about it.
Exactly.
So we'll take the timeout and switch sides. Well, now we'll take the
Now.
timeout and switch sides. Coming back for the final portion of set 5 when we return. Oh, this will be fun.
Yeah, that play was pretty crucial right there. Definitely hands on that.
And I think if Wake can just return serve better, they'll be fine.
Yeah. I didn't think we'd be going to 5 after those first 2 games.
No. Yeah. Naomi Franco taking over 21 kills tonight and plenty of those late.
And if you think about it, 21 kills, that's almost an entire game's worth of points just in kills alone. And I feel like it kind of took her a little bit of time to warm up to this game, but now that she's here, she is making a name for herself on the court.
That trio of Franco, Lokmanchuk, and Shimanova have done it all for Syracuse tonight, and that's a new career high for Naomi Franco, the biggest cheerleader of her team.
Yeah, she is. She's just animated, has great energy, but we also have to give a lot of credit to her setters who have just been hustling all night long to get her the ball.
Race to 15 here in set 5. And Frankie beats the block. Big night for Olivia Frankie, too. She now has 11 kills.
Yes, huge night for Olivia Frankie. Anytime she's been in the front row, it seems like you hand her the ball and she's taking care of business.
Remember, Wake Forest won the first 2 sets. Syracuse crawling back in sets 3 and 4.
Fuentes to serve. I'll be curious to see if we see the short float serve.
There it is. Lokmanchuk wants it and splits the double. Point Syracuse. Frankie a little late, and that created the crease.
Yes, there was just a slight one. I mean, the two of them, when they can get that block closed, it's definitely tough, but took advantage of it.
A normally calm and even-keeled Syracuse team, more emotion than we've ever seen.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with that.
Now Crawford, nice dig. Shimanova there.
Opportunity.
Yep, Wake in transition. Crawford beats the block.
Off the hands.
Wake down 2.
Big play right there for Paige Crawford as she goes back to serve. She had the free ball, and why not give it to Paige Crawford? She's definitely proven herself.
So Crawford with a new career high, 19 kills. Here's her to serve. A missile to Burt. And Jobert missed it. Lost it in the lights, and Wake Forest down 1.
Yeah, that was a tough setup there for Jobert. The lights are kind of bright up there. It was a high pass. And also when you're on the right side and kind of swinging across your shoulder, it can be a tough play.
Smart timeout by Syracuse. Calm the nerves of their team. And then Randy Smart has to love her squad's response. She mentioned no ball touches the floor. We need to be the tougher team. We need to win dirty. This 5th set has the feeling of somebody's going to find a way to win.
It is. It is. If there's a will, there's a way. And I mean, I think that these timeouts are being used really smart. It's just kind of a time for them to collect themselves and just give everything they have to finish out this 5th match, or 5th set.
Wake Forest overcame the demons of losing to Clemson last year in this building to defeat Clemson on Sunday. Now they try to do the same against Syracuse, who swept Wake Forest last year. That was a matchup where Peyton Seuss had 15 kills, but Shimanova was excellent. She had 20. That's kind of been the same tonight.
It has.
But some of the new faces like Crawford stepped up, and then Franco with 21. It's a good battle of some young faces, too.
It has just been a battle of the kills back and forth. When you look at these statistics of the kills tonight, I mean, it's pretty incredible.
Anytime each team's nearing 60 kills, I know it goes 5 sets, but there's a lot of points being won.
That definitely is a lot of points. I mean, especially for the ones who we've got Shinova, who had 25 kills. We've got Franco with 21 kills. That's almost 2 games worth just of kills right there.
Last time Wake had 60 kills was their last 5-set match against Western Carolina. That was a loss for the Demon Deacons. What a crucial point for both teams is Paige Crawford to serve.
It is. This is where you just need to take a breath, keep it in, and be ready for what's coming.
To Shimanova, and saved by Slater, but into the net. Point Syracuse.
Nice hustle by Slater there. Again, this is just giving that nothing hits the floor mentality just to close out the night.
Wake Forest won set 1 and set 2. Now Syracuse looks to win the final 3 sets. Franco. Frankie to the floor. There's some energy from the middle.
Huge swing right there for Olivia Frankie. It's a great pass right there. And Olivia Frankie, she's up front. I mean, that spot, she needs to go ahead and just sign the floor right there, because on both sides, that's just consistently where she's been hitting the ball to.
This is where this 6-2 is special. Fuentes 27 assists. Baker has 26 herself. And they've both found their hitters. Wake is hitting .312 in this match.
We have Megan Merrill that just came in to serve for the back row for the Deeks.
She did the same late in set 4 as a defensive specialist and a server, resulting in an error. Now she serves in a crucial point. Shimanova off the block. Audrey
Huge
Douglas with the
play
move.
for Douglas right there. I mean, we knew the ball was going outside there, and to step up and get a block like that is big time.
First block of the night for Douglas. Shimanova is special. Right after a block, she goes through a double and gives Syracuse the lead.
She's just one of those players that I think can just have redemption. It's like, you know, she gets blocked out there and she's like, give me the ball again. I want to handle it and do something with it.
Julia Bergman leads the country at Georgia Tech, 5 points a set. Well, Shimanova is top 5 in the country, and tonight she has 40 points. Fuentes from the floor. Now in transition, back to Slater. Roll shot scooped up. Hoffman backside. Off antenna, point, Syracuse.
Slater had the right idea. I think that she's really picked up on now the fact that Franco is going to be swinging down the line, so she's trying to close up the block right up there at the antenna, but still just got a tool.
So point, Syracuse 12-10. Every time one team makes a run, the other has countered, and that's made Naomi Franco's contributions really special. New career high, 22 kills.
Yeah, I think now that she's in there on the right side, they should be expecting the ball to go to her. But still, there's a huge opportunity for it to go to Lockmanchuk as well.
And the Syracuse Orange gear up for a tough slate. Louisville next Friday night. That'll be a big matchup. NC State, North Carolina, teams right in the middle of the league, and then a winnable game on Sunday at Virginia Tech.
I honestly think that based on what we're seeing tonight and just based on what I've seen in the ACC so far, there's not a team in this conference that you can just overlook and say, okay, this is going to be an easy win for us. We don't really need to focus in too hard. I mean, I watched Clemson play Virginia Tech last week on Friday night, and they went to 5. Clemson had a heart loss of a game against Virginia Tech, so this is going to be another one that they need to look out for.
And Randy Smart's club at 1-1. A matchup on Sunday you put on paper. Wake Forest needs to win if they want to continue this nice stretch, and then a tough slate. North Carolina, NC State followed up at the end of this stretch with Louisville, number 2 in the country.
Yeah, that's going to be a big one for them. But, you know, just focusing on what we have this week on Sunday, Boston College. Syracuse knocked off Boston College just last weekend to keep them being undefeated in the ACC.
That was a fun 5-setter.
It was.
Went back and
It was,
forth.
and here they are again.
That's the Syracuse mantra. 4th 5-set match for Bakir Ganesaratnam's club. And now can the Orange pull off the reverse sweep? Lose the first 2, trying to win in 5. Farrell bumps it over to Slater. And that's long. So Syracuse 2 points from the match.
Yeah, tough situation for Slater to be in right there. Kind of had a tough pass right there. So Farrell tried to give her a high pass for the outside. She just swinging high, looking for hands.
And in this set, Wake's hitting percentage has dropped to 211. Maybe some nerves of a 5-set match when you have match point twice in the 4th and unable to pull it out.
Yeah, I'm sure it's a lot of nerves, and I also think that Syracuse is a really tough serving team. And so when you've got the heat coming at you, you want to focus so much on getting this perfect pass to the setter to set up opportunities, you know, for the offense. And so there's a lot of pressure.
Syracuse wants to continue their best start since 2018, and it's been led in the comeback efforts, right? Because Shimanova took over late, 27 kills. And then Naomi Franco, she's helped the cause really well, even though she's out in this rotation. But it goes to show how resilient this squad of 11 players is.
Yeah, it definitely is. They are such a resilient team. And this comeback and bounce back that they've had tonight, I mean, you and I talked about this during one of the commercials, that we honestly thought that Wake was going to have this. Now they're going to 5, which has been so crazy, and Syracuse now has the lead, 13-10.
This match started a bit early to avoid some of the storms tonight, but we've had plenty of rocketed shots and long rallies and entertaining volleyball, to say the least.
Definitely. We've had enough of a hurricane just in this gym.
Alongside Megan Kolb, I'm Evan Budrovich here from Reynolds Gymnasium here in Winston-Salem on the campus of Wake Forest. Syracuse wants to win 3 straight sets to pull this match out, and they have quite the opportunity, up by 3.
Crucial point right here for the Deeks.
So Lauren Woodford, the senior setter, transfer into serve. Fuentes. Oh, Gogar in transition.
What a beautiful swing by a Gogar. Look at all that excitement and hype that came from that play. That was a perfect pass. Just Fuentes setting up a great opportunity for her to execute.
9th kill for Emio Gogar. And the hit percentage is really good, too. So Baker to serve. Guess who? Shimanova through the block. Match point, Syracuse. Paulina Shimanova, who now has 28 kills. She will serve for the match. Baker. One more point. Wake Forest responds.
2 times in a row there for a Gogor, just having a great pass, which is where it all begins. And then her just taking care and getting the kill.
Match point number 2. Willock to serve. Back set. It's been Franco's night, and her 23rd kill secures it.
Franco slapping the floor in excitement, hugging her teammates. They earned it. I mean, what a match between the two of these ACC teams. I really wasn't quite sure if we were going to see this go to 5.
After Wake Forest won the first 2, we thought this might be a quick night, but Naomi Franco had other plans, and Syracuse starts 3-0 in the ACC for the first time since 2018.
What a game. I mean, that really truly was a battle back and forth that we saw between the two teams. I don't think any of us could have expected it to go to 5, especially when Wake was leading the first 2 games.
So Wake Forest wanting to bounce back on Sunday, knowing they had the first 2 sets in hand. They fall in 5. Syracuse, however, led by Shimanova and Franco, 51 combined kills. That's a dominant offensive effort for a comeback, scrappy 5-set win.
It was scrappy, but what an incredible performance for both teams. Syracuse going to be leaving this gym tonight with smiles on their face as they walk into their next ACC match, which is not going to be easy.
Big time matchup in the ACC tonight. Early start, plenty of fireworks all throughout. Syracuse takes it in 5. This is a presentation of ESPN alongside Megan Coleman, our hardworking production crew. I'm Evan Budrovich saying good night from Winston-Salem. Wake Forest started out strong with Paige Crawford and crew, but then Syracuse came storming back for a 5-set win. What a fun Friday night for ACC volleyball.